Stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. N-I-C-K mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air. Cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix, so that dabble politics mix. And when I fudge, you laugh punk. Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Hands toward in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back out, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and this YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get saved up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabblers blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Hands on in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 Hey ladies, where you at? Hey fellas, where you at? And the dabblers that don't give a fuck, where you at?
Hey everybody, welcome to Dabbling in Politics, episode, stream 51, whatever you want to call it. As we kind of briefly mentioned last week, this will be the last regularly scheduled Dabbling in Politics. We'll be doing some pop-ups here and there, when big things happen politically, and we're both available and want to talk about it. But it's been very erratic the past, probably since December of last year. It's been very erratic. Stopped becoming a weekly show. It became like back-to-back weeks, then nothing for like 2-3 weeks, back to back, because life get in the way and all this stuff. So decided, co-agreed, we're having trouble banging this out every week, so why don't we just we'll do pop-ups here and there whenever we feel like it, whenever the urge strikes and something big happens. And no more trying to schedule this every week. But anyway, let me bring on my co-host in all this, Mr. Liquid Cryptid. How we doing, sir?
Greetings, everybody. How are we all doing this evening?
Fantastic. Good to see you, Mike, shitty internet provider, popping in for this one. I want to thank you, Mike, for you sent in my favorite super chat when I was on with John. You're the one that asked him about doxing me when he pretended he didn't remember. So thank you. But yeah, I was just telling we got two things planned for tonight. We got Cryptid as always put out John's Show is final. His final show is John's leaving the Dabbleverse. I can't believe it. But we got the political portion of that, and we also have something else. I can't remember the guy's name. So what's the
Angry Cops? The channel's Angry Cops.
Angry Cops. We watched him on here once before. Cryptid brought him to the table. He's pretty funny, and he'll cover some political things. So we're gonna cover the other big story besides the Iran war, and that was last week's shooting at the correspondence dinner there, and by Angry Cops' point of view here. So little humor about something serious, and then we'll finish with John's thing, and then we'll fade off into the sunset. So
Well, fade off a little more into the sunset.
yeah, a little more into the sunset. Yeah.
Let's all be honest with ourselves here. This show didn't really catch on.
No, it was never. But I had fun doing it, man. That's all that
Oh,
mattered.
yeah,
And
I had a great time when we had stuff to talk about.
Right. When we did, yeah. Sometimes it was a slog when there was nothing that fucking worth talking about. But
Yeah, we did do a couple of. I mean, admittedly, we did do a couple of episodes where we just went on because it's Sunday night at 9.
Right.
It was like an hour before the show, and I'm just like
what are we gonna talk
running
about?
through X and breaking points and doing everything. Like, what do I care about? Like, none of this. What can I pretend to care about?
Yeah,
It's like this.
right.
And then we just stopped even doing that because honestly, if I don't care about it, I don't. You're not. The audience isn't going to care about it.
No. There were. Yeah, I can think of a couple offhand where I was like, oh, I feel bad. I think I apologized one week because I was for the week before. I was like, I'm sorry, that was fucking crap. That was like, it was like the topic was nothing we wanted. It was just like, yeah, if we weren't into it, it wasn't good. When we were into it, I thought we had some good stuff, but
We had a lot of great episodes.
Yeah.
I'd still like to do a thing with you about. I would like to do a show about Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens. Different shows. So
yeah,
maybe
absolutely, man.
I could put
That's
some
right.
stuff together about that, or find like a doc or something like that we can watch. And that'll be one of our
Pop-ups, yeah, it sounds. Yeah, that was something we were trying to get to the last couple of weeks, and then something else would always happen, and we wouldn't get to that. But
I was thinking about doing that this week, but then I realized I don't really want to.
yeah, might as well.
Well, we got the Angry Cops thing and then the John thing. We might as well go out on. I mean, obviously we're not going out; it's regularly scheduled. But going out on John's political show is appropriate since we put the show together because of John's political show.
Yes, it's perfect, and we're going out the same week John's going out regularly scheduled. Yeah, even though he'll be back at some point too. All right, so this is Angry Cop here, and he is going to discuss the big happenings last week at the correspondence dinner there.
And I would like to say his background is he is a sheriff's deputy in Buffalo, New York, and he is also a drill sergeant.
There we go. That's right. The one we watched, I think he was in drill sergeant
Yeah.
garb, if I recall. All right, here we go.
Yet another person has tried to take out Donald Trump, and I don't mean to dinner. No, I mean lights out, as in permanent. But this time, it wasn't just him. The would-be assassin was also going after members of the Trump cabinet. And now that it's been a couple of days and everything's kind of calmed down, we can look at the entire situation in its entirety. Words. So if all you've heard over the past couple of days are little tidbits of knowledge, and I think this and maybe that, but you haven't had anything to confirm it, or get a straight storyline as to what actually happened, a timeline, if you will, allow me to paint the picture from beginning to end. You're welcome in advance. But first, a word from this video's sponsor. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to repair and modify your own gun, and more. April 25th, 2026, just a few days ago, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of what the White House Correspondents' Dinner is, it's where large members of the press are invited to a private event held by the president. For the most part, a stand-up comedian, late-night talk show host, or an entertainer is the MC for the night. Says a bunch of jokes about the press, the president, and it's usually capped off with the president going on and saying a few jokes about himself and the press to let everybody know, hey, we're all friends here. We've all worn masks at the same weird sex clubs and traffic children together. So, but nonetheless, it is an annual event that gets a lot of notoriety and media attention. But our story doesn't start on the 25th. No, it starts on the 21st. Meet our would-be assassin, Cole Thomas Allen. Why are all the would-be assassins three people's names? John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, Cole Thomas Allen. Cole is...
And that's a point that gets brought up all the time, these three named assassins. So let me say, fabulous news for Luigi Mangione. The man's innocent. He's got two fucking names.
He's only got the two names.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
Obviously, he's only got two names. Yeah.
He's a graduate of Caltech, a very intelligent young man who also tutors other students. In fact, just in 2024, he was voted as one of the best teachers in the state of California, I think, at least the area that he lived in.
What's up, Bacon? Congrats on monetization.
Board an Amtrak train from LA to Chicago with a shotgun, a pistol, and a couple of knives on.
After this assassination attempt, he'll get another award for from California.
You know what? When I saw it, like I remember, I think he was like Teacher of the Month once. I was like, what? I think I mentioned this last week. Like, what teacher hasn't been Teacher of the Month at some point or whatever?
That is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. The Teacher of the Year is one thing, but Teacher of the Month. I mean, my kids have all been Students of the Month at some point. It doesn't mean they're all fucking going to Harvard or anything like that. You know, I love them, but doesn't mean that's what's happening.
He then changes trains in Chicago and heads from Chicago to D.C. And who says rail is dead?
Damn it. Might as well go out with a bang, right?
Seriously, dude?
Besides jumping in your car.
I know. I'll take care of it for the pop-ups. I swear.
Close security at Amtrak stations, which makes this story almost feel like it's from the 1800s. What assassin takes the train nowadays? Well, Cole does. And on the day before the event, April 24th, Cole checks into the Washington Hilton, the same hotel that's holding the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the gala, the event, the whole shebang. And like we already know, he's packing a pistol and a shotgun and a whole bunch of knives. And it's not like you're getting a pat down to enter every hotel that you go into at D.C., although I'm sure some senators would enjoy that. So Cole is still in possession of those weapons. And the next day, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Everybody's in their tuxedos, getting ready to munch on some grub and sip champagne, while the president gets the piss taken out of him, and then he shows up at the end and says a couple other jokes. Now, the event itself was supposed to host 2,600 individuals, a significant task for security, the Secret Service, for this event. And although shots haven't been fired yet after they were, there were a whole bunch of people hypothesizing, or just straight out saying, although it wasn't confirmed, that Cole must have had media credentials in order to have entered the hotel. Otherwise, how else would he have gotten in? Well, like I stated before, although the hotel was hosting this event, it's still a hotel. And
I found this whole part fascinating because it's something I never thought about during these like goofy dinners, that there's still like active hotels while they're doing this shit. I almost think going forward, if they're going to do this stuff, I mean, it's something I think they should have been doing to begin with. If you want to host this thing, I think you need to cut off the rest of the hotel for those 24 hours to regular people. I think you do, for like safety reasons.
Or just do it at the ballroom.
Yeah, so like
Which is kind of what the ballroom is about, is to, I mean, come on, there's already been 2 assassination attempts at this fucking hotel. This is the second assassination attempt. But yeah, when I first saw this as well, I was thinking the exact same thing. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh, the president's going to be there. All these high-powered, politicians are going to be there. You can't just walk in. Well,
Yeah.
apparently you can.
you have the president and the vice president in the same fucking room, and you can just walk in as long as you made reservations ahead of time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Yeah, like we've talked about the bar. I don't care either way, but yeah, that's one way to like make it safer. Like whatever. Like, oh my god, real quick, Breaking Points did a whole thing on the conspiracy theories and shit on this stuff, and thankfully neither one of them believed it was like staged at all. Whatever, there's just some goofy coincidences. But Saga was the best. He's like, look, I believe in aliens, as you guys know. The JFK thing, I believe in all this. Uvalde, blah blah blah. But if you think that Trump faked in a fucking assassination thing to get a ballroom built that he was already building, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's my favorite part about
Yeah.
that conspiracy theory. It's like,
Yeah.
well, he's already fucking building it. I don't.
Yeah.
What do you? How is this helping?
Oh. So yeah, I again, weird things like there always is, but don't think there's too much involved. But just we had a lot more holes in things than I ever realized. Just in our security system, it's a lot. They're being exploited left and right all of a sudden, and they probably have always been there and just never knew it. You know.
Those people that were staying at the hotel that weren't a part of the ball, the gala, the event, still had some access to the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah, this is it,
duh,
Shuli. Medioff, yeah.
If you're staying at the hotel, you probably need to get in somewhere to check in. It is assumed that because Cole was already checked into the hotel, was a guest there, a registered guest of the hotel, that he had access to the small areas within the lobby that may have been closed off to the public, but weren't closed off to those staying at the hotel and the event, the people attending the gala. And this is where things cook off. You see, at 20:34 hours, it's 8:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in DC, Cole pops off some rounds. Now, some might say that the first level of security would be that the hotel is only allowing registered guests and those invited to the gala in its premises. And that first level of security was broken. However, that's a bit of a stretch, because when Cole is met with the metal detectors of the first actual security checkpoint within the building to attend the gala, he rushes it like he's frickin' Naruto. And while sprinting through the security checkpoint and past Secret Service members, he fires his pistol from what is recorded as at least 1 to 6 times, striking a security agent, geez, say that 10 times fast, in his bulletproof vest. That Secret Service agent returned fire, and within moments, he was apprehended. Now, the gala is already underway. People have been served some appetizers, their dinners. They're about to start the booze and have the entertainment. And this is where we get an interesting glimpse at this attempted assassination. Because while Cole has fired off a couple of rounds and is being apprehended, we see in real time the reaction of the Secret Service members to not only the president and vice president, but other members of his cabinet. And that includes the president, the vice president, RFK Jr., Steve Miller, the Speaker of the House, Johnson. But I'm not just going to list their names. I'm going to show you some of the video that was collected. Let's start with the president. In the video you're about to see, you can hear the shots being fired.
Fucking had me laughing.
What was that?
We'll get there. The RFK part had me fucking rolling.
Yeah, the RFK part. Yeah, that was. What's funny is I was landscaping all weekend, so this is something I listened to while I landscape. So I actually didn't visually see any of this, but I did listen to it. So
you know the gist of what I'm talking about.
I know the gist of what you're talking about.
See it, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
These are great videos.
The background while President Trump is sitting next to the First Lady and having a conversation with the gentleman over his shoulder. And in what is kind of becoming a meme right now, Melania Trump, the First Lady, looks surprised, as most people would when they hear shots being fired and Secret Service members running about, while the president gives her this look like,
Jesus. I wish there was something I could use instead.
First time.
First time.
This time doesn't stand up and say fight, fight, fight. Lets the Secret Service members whisk him away off stage. And simultaneously, the vice president picked up almost directly out of his chair like he's a toddler, getting thrown into the car.
I love the guy that got left. Like,
yeah, he's kneeling, ducking down behind the
the
table there. It's like, that's concealment. That's not cover, by the way.
Hey guys, what about me? I know I'm not JD Vance, so what about me? Can you get me out of here?
Off stage. And simultaneously, the vice president picked up.
This fucking dude right here. Yeah. Oh shit, there's some chick right there. I didn't even notice.
They're just watching. Hey guys, what about us?
Almost directly out of his chair like he's
she's completely under the table, and he's like, dude, you're still in the... Bro, you're in the zone, bro. You're in the zone.
Toddler getting thrown into the car. I said, we need to leave now, JD. I'll tell you what, though, once a Marine, always a Marine, because when they were like, we need to go, and they start picking him up, he's like, got it, and just follow suit. Good guy. Good guy. I feel like if there was an action movie, he would be the vice president. You could, like, throw a pistol to, and he'd be like, clack, clack.
Mr. Shuley made up. It's pretty telling when they take J.D. Vance away faster than they do President of the United States. So that's something I thought about. Obviously, like that came up when this happened. And now there's been a full week, but something I thought of after a couple of days. See if you agree, Cryptid. I actually think it's more because I think Vance was just easier to whisk away than 80-something-year-old Trump. He's like, boop, he's up and gone. Like Trump's like slower, and I've seen the interview with Trump because like some people thought he may have fallen, and he's like, no, they told me to get down, so I got down. And yeah, I don't know. I think it was just logistically, I think it was just easier for them and quicker for them to get JD off. But it is interesting.
Well, and also, you see that there's only like one or two guys on JD, but there's like 4 or 5 around.
Oh yeah.
Trump. I saw something. Now this is on X, so take this for whatever you want to take it for. But I guess that's sort of like a policy type thing because first thing they want to do is get them both separated.
Right. Different. Yes, I know that.
So
part. Yeah.
I guess the procedure is when that situation is they surround and shield the president, and then they get like the vice president up and going. Because while they're moving, they can't effectively shield them, all that well.
Yeah.
And also, I honestly think it was more like what you were saying. It's just like Vance is easy to just grab and say, "Dude, we're going," and he's going.
Yeah.
Whereas Trump, he gets around for an old man, but he's still an old man.
Right. Yeah. And I think Trump cares more, and I'm not even saying this is wrong, but as president, I think he cares more what this looks like visually. Like I don't want to look like I'm running. I don't want to, with the fight. Or Vance is just like, yeah, I'm VP. I'm out. I'm gonna run in fucking 3 years and blah blah blah. So, yeah, it's just easier. And I think Trump even said he thought like he thought a tray had fallen or something like that at first. So, I don't think it was like quite clear what happened right away. I think they heard a noise or heard noises, and then I'm sure the Secret Service got messages in their earpieces like, "Yo, we got a fucking gunman out here." And then boom, Well, most people are probably confused. The fuck is what the hell's going on at this point?
Basically, at this point, I don't know anything about the Secret Service and how they work or all these different agencies. So I just figured that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
You know what?
You get all the armchair quarterbacking on fucking X, and everybody's like, "Why did they do this? Why didn't they do that?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not a Secret Service agent. I don't know what the procedures are for this stuff, and neither are you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just remembered my mother's best friend when I was a kid. Her brother was a Secret Service member, and this is during Reagan's second term, George Bush Senior's term and shit. Or maybe it might even been George Bush Senior in the Clinton. I can't remember. It was somewhere in there in the late 80s, possibly early 90s, and. Man, I wish they were still friends. I would love to ask this dude some fun. Obviously, he's probably not there anymore. He's too old, but
I doubt the procedures have changed very much.
Yeah, I would be interesting to like hear his take on some of this shit.
It's instead of Uzis now, they have the sexy MP7s.
Yeah.
I may not be back for a second term. What do you think of my approval ratings? The NRA's gonna give me an A. Yeah, I don't know. Steve Miller is actually getting a little bit of flack. Normally the mouthpiece of the Trump administration. You can see here he's with his wife trying to usher her away and out of the area while he himself is being guided by Secret Service. Some people have said he's standing behind his wife. I think he's just trying to help push her out of the way. You ever try to lift up a pregnant woman and get her move somewhere faster? Impossible. They need assistance. But it's nice to see.
Yeah, I had this talk with my beautiful wife who I love. But and yeah, I hate. There's nobody in the Trump cabinet I dislike more than Stephen Miller. But when this first happened, there was a still shot of him going around. I mean, it looked like he was hiding behind his wife. And as much as I hate that motherfucker, as before saw this video, I was like, "Hon, like you can take a still shot and make it look like fucking anything if you take a millisecond at a time." I'm guessing he was like pushing her out, guiding her out. And that's exactly what he was doing. As much as I hate the motherfucker, he wasn't hiding behind his fucking wife.
Yeah, he was obviously like supporting her and guiding her, and somewhat kind of like bent over the front of her, maybe trying to protect the kid or something.
Yeah, like
whatever,
like in my personal belief, when you like, I think there are very valuable reasons to dislike Stephen Miller, so you don't need to make anything up. So you don't have to act like he's hiding behind his wife. Anyway.
That chivalry isn't dead. Unlike with RFK Jr., who is being led away by Secret Service, and his wife is just trailing along behind him. RFK's just sitting there in his seat, refusing to get down like,
I've been here before. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And now's my time. It's mine.
Look at this. Oh, yeah, this Stephen
Everybody's
Miller's
humming
wife.
around.
Yeah.
RFK Jr. sitting there and going, what are you doing?
He's like, where is he? He's like, I've survived enough of these fucking things. I'm the only one in the family. Me and Teddy. I mean, Teddy's gone, but...
Time.
I mean, just a G. Oh, they're shooting at us again? Par for the course. Are they dead yet? We need to leave. Do we have to leave? I haven't even... All right, fine. That's how I got RFK out of this. Just the most... all right. And what adds just aura to this is RFK Jr.'s son messages him and his wife, hey, are you two okay? I hear that there's gunfire. To which RFK's wife, the beautiful actress, is like, oh my gosh, this was insane, that was crazy. And RFK's response is, I'm still hungry. The dude just wants to get his meal. He's counting his macros, and now he's like, well, great. How am I going to fit this into my caloric intake now? I had this scheduled for a week. And shortly after the videos of these cabinet members and the president and vice president being escorted out of the building, news agencies get confirmation that the president is all right, and also that the individual, the suspect, the wannabe assassin, Cole, is in custody. And photos of him start showing up. One of Cole from a distance away where it looks almost like he's got a ponytail, and people start saying, it's a hippie. And later on, a more close-up image of Cole face down on the carpet, showing him with a shorter haircut and a mustache and goatee. And although speculation was going out that there were 2 people shot, the shooter was quote-unquote confirmed dead, there were no casualties, and the only individual shot was the Secret Service member, who luckily enough was wearing a vest, thank God, and didn't sustain any other injuries besides, I would assume, significant bruising. And perhaps brown pants. But RFK wasn't the only person aura farming that day. No. The Secret Service were out there looking frickin' mint. Because one of the other views that we get while President Trump is being taken away, escorted off of the main stage to security in a safe space, a couple Secret Service members decked out in some fantastic gear just start running across the stage, ready to engage any threat that's coming up to them. Suppressors, optics, and nods. Why would they wear nods? So many people say, dumbly. Now, I wouldn't guarantee that this is why they're wearing nods, but I would hope that there's an option when goes bad that you just kill the lights to everything, so that way the only people that know what's going on are the guys with nods, hopefully the Secret Service members. And the bad guys are just standing there with AKs looking around because they can't see shit. And you're having guys who've trained their entire life just go, tap, 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 tap. Target's down. The eagle is on its way. Clear?
Rewriting your resume till the cows come home?
3 of these.
Introducing Indeed Career Scout. Get your resume.
Yeah, why
tailored
bother now,
instantly.
buddy? It's the last scheduled episode, you know? Oh, come on.
Oh man, 2 unskippable ads.
Cincinnati Reds. Why the fuck am I getting Cincinnati Reds shit?
Claire.
But there is only one man, the gray man, that everybody wants to know more about. And that's the man in a gray suit with a gray backpack that unfurled a sexy H&K MP7. Ooh! We with an aim point optic on top. This guy's been floating all over the internet as the gray man, and rightfully so, because he looks like a book nerd. This guy looks like he fits in at a media event. He looks like there's camera equipment and extra batteries in his backpack.
About this.
He's got the Shuli backpack.
Yeah, being a gun nerd and you know, keeping an eye on following like a lot of gun channels and stuff like that. A lot of memes because everybody wants the MP7, but we can't get the MP7. It's not available for
civilian use
for the public to buy. Now you can buy it, but it requires a lot of licensing and permissions. So there's like there's some people who do have them. Like there's a couple of YouTubers that have one, but you know they have all the licensing and you got to get special permissions. There's all sorts of stuff you got to do in order to get one.
Nice. What's up, Skrill Kill?
Hey,
thanks
Skrill.
for lurking. Thanks for lurking. We're almost done with this dude, and we're gonna end it with some Stuttering John from his final show.
Angry for anybody who's here.
Yeah, if anyone wants to get frustrated with 3 fucking idiots after this.
Matching gray, nice bright tie, thinner build fella, a nerd, if you will. And Superman pulled off his glasses the second rounds went off and clacked out an MP7. Ooh, do you remember when Reagan, the assassination attempt on Reagan, oddly enough, at the same hotel there in D.C., Hilton, and there was images of the Secret Service members with the Uzi. You know, they just like,
oops, damn it,
popped some out of briefcases and one had them like underslung, and everyone's like, oh, U.S. has Uzis to protect the president. That's cool. That is this image right now. That is the level of this image of the Secret Service member in the gray suit, the gray service member, if you will. Gray man Secret Service member with his MP7. But let's bring it back to the event, okay? It's been a couple of days and Cole Thomas Allen's been arraigned. That's right. But what are his charges? Well, on April 27th, Mr. Allen appeared in federal court, obviously, because when you try to off a president, that's a federal crime. Can't be doing that. Where he was charged with 3 separate counts. Attempted assassination of the president. Wow. That's a charge you don't use that often. Transportation of a firearm or interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony, and using a firearm during a crime of violence. Now, Cole Thomas Allen also wrote a manifesto, but
just sort of be thrown out. In fact,
yeah,
2 of those are probably just kind of unnecessary. Like the first one is just sort of like all you kind of need to go at. The rest is just sort of stacking stuff on, you know.
It kind of reminds me of the, I don't know why it does, but it reminds me of George Carlin did this whole bit on the 10 Commandments and how he knocked it down to like 1 or 2 commandments because like so much of the shit is either stupid or just stacking on other shit and fucking blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah.
And also, you know, you only need the death penalty once. You can't really die 3 times, so. Yeah,
no, there's... Discharge a firearm during a crime of violence. Oh my god. Yeah. It's just yeah, I mean, yeah, you're found guilty of the first one, that's it. You're done. There's no need for this other stuff, right?
Firearm during a crime of violence. Now, Cole Thomas Allen also wrote a manifesto, but I'm not going to read it here on YouTube. I'm going to save that for Pepperbox. From what I'm told, it's poorly written and is ripe for a smartass like me to pick apart. So, feel free to join me over on Pepperbox. Best way to support the channel is pick up a...
Pepperbox is a paid subscription thing that all these gun tubers created. It was created by like Demolition Ranch, Brennan Herrera, Angry Cops, and several others so that, you know, they don't have to be under the thumb of YouTube all the time, and they're constantly changing rules on, you know, firearms and what they can and can't talk about, stuff like that. So they made their own subscription thing. It's like $5 a month. You get tons and tons of content. It's actually pretty cool. I used to be sub to it for a while, but then I realized, I mean, I never went over to it because I always forget about it.
Well, that was smart of them. Yeah, even this
If you like guns and gun tubers, you can go pepperbox.com and they'll have I was thinking about actually buying it just so I could watch his reading of the manifesto, but then I didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is embarrassing. I was gonna do it, but run out of time. I still have not read the manifesto because apparently you can't read it on YouTube's like banned it. Like you can't read it on YouTube. So even the YouTubers I watch, I'll reference the manifesto. Some even give you kind of like a quick summary of it, but none of them like read it or go into detail because they can't. So
This is full of spelling errors and stuff. This guy must have been a great teacher.
Oh my God, fantastic! Maybe that's who John was substituting for out in California because it was out in Cal. Yeah, what a segue! What a segue! Since we're pretty much done here.
Shirt! Are you a badass gray man? Well, why don't you get a bad bitch shirt?
Yeah, that'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very well done. I know this guy's, even though he's more right wing than me, he's pretty funny and he's pretty straight down the middle with his commentary. So I'll give him.
Yeah, I think the last time we watched it was when they had the leak, the J.D. Vance leak of the first attack on Iran. Was it? They did
Could be. I'm trying to remember what it was.
The Signal app leak.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the last one where he did the same thing, but fucking with right wing. Yeah, he is right wing, but when he sees stupid, he calls it stupid.
Yeah. I like that because like sure you can see that he's right wing in some of his little, but he's not like over the. Yeah, he just calls it how it is. So which is good. All right, guys. So this is taken from, we'll thank Mr. Liquid Cryptid himself here, who always supplies the Stutter and John content. Which, unfortunately, he'll never, ever get to do this again because John left for good this time. He's never coming back.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But this is taken from John's final live stream. This is...
was it the third final live stream?
Yeah, his third final live stream. I'll just say this: how little I think John might. This is the boy that cries wolf. Where I actually could have gone on towards the end when like Ava and Jerry and people were on, and I ended up doing other shit. Because don't get me wrong, if I could have squeezed it in, I would have done it. I just had better things to do at the time, But if John like never did this before and was really leaving for good, I probably would have pressed harder to be able to do it. But yeah, this I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. It like gets old. Like the fucking, I can't stand the. I don't know how his co-host put up with it. Like no matter who it was, like when it last time he left when it was like Rob and Clay, both guys I like, and it's like. God, I think I'm leaving. They don't realize I'm leaving. What shit way are you gonna do? It's like, dude, you go through this all the time. And then this time it was like Ava and Dan, and it's the same shit. And it's like, John, we know you're coming back at some point, dude. It's even if you're not, this is like the fourth time you fucking left. So
well, yeah, even if he's like genuinely not intending to come back, he's going to come back.
Yeah. 100%. Voltaire, Nick, you had a great appearance on this Deadbeat Drunk show. Thank you. Actually, if everything goes right, I already have it. I made it last night. I plan on going live at 9 p.m. tomorrow night to talk about going on John, and I actually went on. Is my mic okay, Voltaire? I actually turned mine down, so I thought you were talking to me because I could hear mine louder.
Oh, me? Okay.
Cryptid, yeah. So I didn't know if mine was too loud. Yeah, I went on what's his face?
Am I much louder now?
You sound good, man. Yeah. Okay. I went on Grillo's show like a week or two before I went on. So did Cryptid. So check it out. Cryptid was the only guest when he went on, which is fantastic. And then I went on John, so I'm going to do a live stream kind of talking about both, the differences, what led up to both, some of the behind the scenes that went into it. Can't get into everything because, I know this sucks for content reasons, but I am someone that doesn't like to fuck people over, so I don't want to fuck over the people that help me get on these shows. But yeah, I do want to give some of the behind the scenes stuff. That led to it and go over some of the clips, especially on John, because the Grillo thing was a couple of weeks ago at this point. And the Grillo thing, they weren't really. It got clipped, but it's not like I was basically talking about John. The whole show was talking about John with Grillo, so there's not many clips to go over with that. But yeah, I do want to go over some of the John stuff, and I did get a good amount of compliments, which I appreciate. But obviously, some people thought I was too lenient on him, so I do want to address some of that stuff too. Just one thing I'll give away is this: is John. John would never have me on because he was convinced by the trolls, his moles, and all this stuff that I was a terrible person and I was gonna porn bomb him and fuck him, or at least he pretended that's what he thought. I don't know. And a bunch of people through the year or two vouched for me to John. So if I went on there and was an asshole, I actually would have been backing up John and the trolls. So I couldn't do that. But I also, when I disagree with someone, like this is why I thought Cryptid and I would be good together, is when we disagree, we can both calmly articulate why we disagree with something without getting all, which is what I did with John when I disagreed. So.
And also, you can't disagree with John too hard, or
right?
he'll just
Yeah.
kick you.
Or you get booted right away.
And then you're just kicked off. So it's like, what was even the point?
Who will be the co-host next season? Oh, next season of John? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe Dan and Ava will come back. I know.
Basically, exactly what Voltaire said.
Oh, did he? I wasn't even looking.
Yeah, you gotta walk the line with John, otherwise he'll just kick you.
Yeah. That was I thought he was gonna kick me a couple times, especially during the.
There was a few there where I was like, "How did Nick weasel his way out of getting kicked out on that one?"
Yeah, there'd be a couple times where I see him getting
the drug one.
Yes, that's the one where I really thought I was going to get kicked, which ironically was the one where I was the most timid and not timid, but the one where I was like, John, we don't need to talk. Like that was the one where I didn't press him. That's kind of why I wanted to do the live stream, because I'm sure that's the segment that got the most views, because that's the one that WATP covered. And yeah, I want to show some of the other stuff too, to show that like I did push back. So, like, you know what's funny? Real quick, and we'll get on to this. The first thing I pushed back John with, I must have did it wrong because nobody picked up on it, including John. But it was right towards the beginning. I forget how it came up, but he was accusing me of this and that. I was like, John, in fact, John, the first person that ever threatened me was a TSN fan because I defended you and your kid against Rocco. And he's like, oh, yeah, if I ever see that guy, oh, man. And I was like, yeah, John, I don't know how you didn't kick the shit out of him. You had him right there. Like, I was kind of, not like, I was kind of taking a little jab, like saying, like, dude, you had your chance, pretty much saying you had your chance to hit him and you didn't. And John never picked up on that. And that never got any traction either. But that was like I thought that was the point where I pushed back some of the hardest was right off the bat. But anyway.
Yeah, I was meaning to actually do a show going over that, but I didn't want to, as your co-host, and knowing I didn't want to sit there and start going, yeah, this is what I'm pretty sure Nick wanted to do this or that, or why didn't he say this, that, and the other thing, and then have it get back to John, and then you wouldn't have been able to get on his last show. So I I went radio silent on that because I didn't want to hurt your chances of.
I appreciate it. I almost blew it the night before.
So WATP did it for me.
Right. But it was funny. I think it was the next day of the day. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. And Moon Crickets, I'm going to miss you, my friend, Mr. Z. But I had already been, Lou to God every so often asked me to go on with him and Joey. I actually missed one or two, but he asked me to come on this week or last week. And I was like, yeah, I should be able to make it. It was like 6:30. I'm like, sometimes work's iffy, but I should be able to make it. And I was like an hour late because of work. And I wasn't even going to go on because I was so late. And Lou's like, oh, what are you big timing me because of the stutter? And I'm like, dude, I'm not big timing. So then I went on or whatever. And I'm like, he's like, I thought you were big timing me because you were on Stuttering John. I'm like, dude, I can't big time anybody. I'm like, I'm not big timing you. So that ironically, after I got off with Lou and Joey, I saw I had a link from Nasty Neil. And I don't remember. It was just like a quick thing, like, "Hey, if you're available and want to hop on," and that's all it said. And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, is Neil wanting to have me on his horror thing now?" Because I was on with John, and I'm so dumb. And as I'm going, I'm like, "Oh, he's probably on with Rob," and that's what it was. He was on with Rob, and so I hopped. Apparently, they were covering it, and when I hop on, they start sniping John. So now I'm on with Rob and fucking Neil, and they're sniping like John, Dan, and Ovid. I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm like, John ain't gonna have me on now. But I don't know if Dan. I think Dan even told John, but John was like, it was one of John's show days where he did a second stream like late, so he was like after his date or something.
Yeah,
so
it was the Thursday show.
Yeah. So I think he was. I think he was gone. I know you love Nasty Neil Youngle vibes. I know you love him. Anyway, if anyone's interested, I will be going over the John stuff tomorrow at 9 p.m. So let's go down the home stretch here with Stuttering John's last show with his the political segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on a very good friend of mine. He's been one of the most loyal friends I've had, and what I believe to soon be
better than my Red Sox. Oh, my Celtics. Fuck.
A congressman of the United States of America. Please welcome my good buddy Richard Ojeda. How are you, Richard?
I know we discussed this, but isn't Ojeda in like a massive red district?
Yeah, I think he was like 75% voted for Trump. No, he did win his primary from what I
Yeah, he
understand.
did. Yeah, which was I mean, good for him. Got to give him props for that. But yeah,
Yeah, sorry, Bacon Bits. We're actually talking Stuttering John's political stuff.
yeah, buddy. Besides, I misread it. Yeah. Bits, if you're not doing your own thing actually, if neither one of you are, I'll send you both the link tomorrow night if you guys want to come on. Absolutely.
All right.
That'd be because I actually was thinking of I was gonna ask you. I just hope nothing comes up. But yeah, I do have a plan for tomorrow night.
Is just fucking around.
I know he's fucking around, but I meant you in particular. I did want to invite you on.
Yeah,
but
send me the link. Yeah, I could probably jump on at like 9:00.
Yeah, I think it'd be. Trust me, there's a lot I want to say, but I think a lot of it would be interesting with some feedback and someone else's perspective, especially someone that knows me and knows most of the situation. So
yeah.
Good.
What's up, John?
How are you? I'm happy for you, brother.
Well, I'm telling you, we're going nonstop. I'm doing 3 to 5 events a day. Today is the first day that I've pretty much had. Now, of course, I had to do call time this morning, but for the rest of the day, I've been pretty much, free. So it's believe me, it feels good. But it's tomorrow. I'm back on the trail.
Well, I know my mom is watching, and she loves you, and she also loves this next gentleman. Very funny man. He's a musician. He's a writer. He's a comedian, and he's another loyal friend of ours. Please welcome Brian Karam. Hey, Brian.
I'm incognito.
You know what's funny, Crypto? When we started this, I remember like we were gonna do we're gonna do a separate Ojeda show, and I actually Karam bothers me so much more than Ojeda does at this point. I fucking hate this guy.
Well, he's so fucking smug.
Unbelievably smug.
Over nothing.
With as you know, with Ojeda, I was more disappointed in Ojeda because I used to really like the way the guy did shit, and then he's gone a little off the reservation. Two things. He's gone a little too far off the reservation, and at the same time, he became too much of a libtard or a corporate Democrat or whatever the hell you want to call it, when he used to be more of a fuck you working class, lefty, and now he's more of a standard, just regular fucking shit Democrat. But Karam's supposed to be in the fucking media, and this guy is a fucking hack, the smug fucking hack. I remember I missed like the first half of this live. I think I only caught the second half, And I remember, well, I'll bring it up when we get to it, but there was a part where I was just like so annoyed with him because the media like him are part of the problem and something he was going to kind of complain about. I'm like going to be like, dude, it's you. You're the one doing that shit, you fuck comedian.
So yeah, Ojeda did win the Democrat primary. Which whatever.
Yeah, there was
the incumbent for the District 9, North Carolina's 9th district is where he's running. It's Republican plus 15, so 65%.
Yeah, I'm not. It's gonna take a miracle. Like, as you know, there were some. Like, take AOC's district. It's like it's all about the primary. The Republican never has a shot, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, it sounded like he's in a similar situation. I'm not saying he has no chance because I don't know if the numbers he gives during this are accurate. I'll just assume they're roughly accurate, where there has been a swing a little bit with Trump, but it doesn't mean even if they're having issues with what's going on with the presidency right now, it doesn't mean they're going to vote for a Democrat in Congress. Exactly. You know, it's two totally different things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not going to decide that, we don't like Trump, so we're going to vote in a Democrat representative. Like, no.
Yeah. It's not usually how that works. Yeah.
So
what are you guys doing? Good to see. Hey, good to see you, Richard.
Hey, that's good stuff. I like them shades, man.
Yeah, me too. Wear them into the White House. It drives them nuts.
Both of you guys have a lot of great things happen.
Yeah, it's American flag. Why would that? God, like I said, he's not a fucking reporter at all. He's just a fucking smug troll wannabe fucking comic. It's like what he is at this point.
Propagandist, really.
Yeah, big time. He's like a reporter should not be this much. Like, I get it, Fox News, okay, you got conservative media, whatever, but as far as much as I know, Karam's not supposed to be this biased right-wing, left-wing media thing, and he's pretty much just a fucking he's just a shill of the Democrat Party at this point. That's what he is.
He sells himself as being, in the middle and being fair, but you read any of his stuff and watch any of his things, it's like he's obviously huge TDS. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely 100% carrying water for the Democrats.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll eventually, if something huge happens to some Democrat, he'll start saying, that guy's terrible. Especially, I'm sure he had some things to say about Swalwell.
Yeah, after the fact, he'll say something.
But anything else, he'll just either not report on it or cover for it or whatever.
Yeah, I think we talked about it once, how these three in particular, but Karam too, claiming that fucking Biden was competent, that there was nothing wrong with his brain. And then I saw earlier this year, one of the last times they did a political thing with John, he's ripping his fellow media people and Democrats for covering for Biden's fucking dementia. And claiming that he was ringing the bell on it. And I was like, dude, you fucking liar.
I believe we covered that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I literally have a video of him saying that, there's nothing wrong with Biden, he's fine.
He's a reporter the same way Cenk Uygur and Ben Shapiro. Yes, very much so. Very much
Cenk
so.
and Ben are popular and have money.
Yeah, and also, I actually will give Cenk and Ben a little bit more leeway where they're not pretending to be in the middle. You know what I mean? Cenk will tell you he's a progressive. Ben will tell you he's a fucking conservative, where Karam's pretending that he's this down the middle fucking straight reporter when he's not. Yeah.
In the Army, Major just won his primary, which really, I was telling Brian, Richard, I'm so proud of you. It makes me happy. It's you've been such a friend of mine for at least 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And to see you,
that's a big gap, Jim.
Do this. It's such a hard thing to do. And I'm so fucking rooting for you, pal.
Well, we are definitely putting in the work. I have to honestly say that 14 months ago, nobody in this area even knew who I was. And we started on this campaign. And, I didn't come to North Carolina to get into politics. I came here to just be done, be close to Fort Bragg so I can go get my VA taken care of and stuff like that. But then I started seeing that our healthcare was under attack. So I started looking at my representative, and I found that my representative never even puts boots on the ground here. He's the guy who told all the other Republicans no more town halls. And I'll tell you a little bit about him. He lives in Washington, D.C. in a house where most people that make it to Congress, they get apartments because, once again, they're not there that often. He lives in Washington, D.C. He doesn't come down here. His parents own a little piece of property down here that he claims so that he runs as the guy down here. But the truth is he doesn't put boots on the ground here. Most of this district don't even know what he looks like. They've never received a return phone call.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe, Ojeda, that he had no plans to run for Congress or office when he moved to North Carolina?
Not even a little bit.
Me either, dude. The other thing is he's also not being honest when he says nobody knew who I was here. I'm not saying that the majority of people knew who he was. I'm guessing the majority did not. But it wasn't like Richard was not on the map if you're in the politics. Like, as I showed you, I mean, he's been in a Michael Moore fucking documentary, the one on Trump. He was on TYT a million times. It's not like he wasn't like out there. It's not like he was like, there are Congress people that people have never heard of. There are people that have never, like, he's actually never been in Congress, but as someone who's never been in Congress but has run before, I'm sure he's more known than the average. So again, I'm guessing the majority of people didn't know who he was, but he's also more well known than most people who have never been in Congress. And yeah, I don't believe. I think part of the reason he moved was because he wasn't winning in West Virginia to give it a shot somewhere else.
Yeah. And I mean, you do have sort of a good point, but as I said, he moved into like an extremely red.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah.
So they maybe haven't really watched TYT or or anything like that, or Michael Moore or anything like that.
Yeah, true. Those are both two lefty things. You got a point. Biden was at Rodney. Oh, he was. Yeah, he took the stage and read. I couldn't hear it, but I saw the clip where
read John's police report,
divorce papers or whatever the fuck it
divorce
was.
Papers.
Yeah.
So I decided to take him on, and to be honest with you, we're kicking ass. And right now, if you look,
I agree,
the country,
Brent. I do like his passion.
Things are swinging in the other direction. Donald Trump won my district by 16 points, and in a recent poll, he's down -7. So that's a 23-point swing in the wrong direction. And Richard Hudson historically does worse than Donald Trump does.
Here's the thing about
I
Richard
think I got a really
Ojeda
good shot
and
of making it
his
to Congress, and I'm not going
to... he doesn't really, check into what polls are, what the polls are, what they're about, or what's going on, or how they're conducted. He'll just see a headline for a poll that says, this poll says, it's down, this much, and then that's what he'll report on. He won't look into it and see like, oh, this is a poll amongst mostly Democrat households. Oh, and it was done on a left-wing talk radio channel. And
right,
it's a
yeah.
survey on their website. He literally, when he was talking about Kamala once, he was literally talking about, Kamala, when, one of the polls that he was talking about how, no black people are voting for Trump. No black people are voting for Trump. It's like, well, that was literally a liberal radio station out of Detroit that took a survey on their website, and they didn't really keep those kind of statistics.
Yeah, the polling, the devil is definitely in the details when it comes to the poll. I mean, I forget the comedian's name, but I forget which comedian it was. Sorry, I should say. They're like, who the hell takes part in polls? Like, have you ever taken part in a poll? And it's like, it's a lot. Have you? Okay, I was gonna say a lot of time it is like older people and all this stuff. But yeah, you have to look at the demographic of the people that they are polling. I mean, that's huge if you want to like get an accurate reflection of what's going on here.
Then every poll will tell you exactly how it was conducted.
Right. Yeah. All you can do is look. Yeah. You don't think the Israel influence hurts Republicans in the midterms? So I do, but unfortunately, I believe most of the majority of the Democrats are also heavily influenced by Israel. Now, this is actually a topic where Richard has an advantage over the average Democrat. He's one of the I call them the Justice Democrats. There's a branch of the Democrat Party called the Justice Democrats, where they don't take corporate PAC money and stuff like that, which Richard is kind of part of, and most of them are against the Israel stuff. But unfortunately, most Democrats are in bed with fucking AIPAC in Israel too, so I don't think it's going to be quite the advantage that some may think. Yes, as I said, yeah, this is something where Richard can definitely, and I'm guessing his Republican opponent is part. It takes AIPAC money, or at least supports Israel. So as I said, that is one issue where Richard specifically himself can differentiate himself. But and people because some Democrats speak out against it, maybe that'll rub off on other Democrats. But the reality is, far too many Democrats also support Israel in this bullshit. So
even though they may not say so,
right? Yeah.
I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna keep going.
Well,
I
love
like
that.
swing in the wrong direction. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt.
Yep.
And then Brian has a lot going on too, Richard. His documentary it has made it to Cannes Film Festival.
Really? That's pretty awesome.
We'll be there.
Man.
It's a private showing during Cannes on the, I think it's the 15th. It's on the 18th. I got to be there on the 15th. But yeah, it's about the first 100 days of the wonderful new Donald Trump era.
Holy smokes! I'm looking forward to that, brother.
I'll send you both a link.
Nice.
So I'm proud of you both, and so am my.
I love that when he said, "I'll send you a link." So this isn't like a real movie, dude. If you're gonna send a link to these fucking guys to watch it, yeah,
private showing at the Cannes Film Festival, which means he's gonna play it on his notebook in his hotel. Probably.
And once again, a documentary on the first 100 days of Trump in office. He's showing, and again, as you know, I'm not a Trump guy. I can't stand the dude, but I'm also not a fucking reporter, man. There's other shit to Karam. Yeah, Karam's definitely just like, as long as you're against Trump, that's all that matters. And I hate that fucking attitude from politicians, and I really hate it from reporters. Yeah.
And once again, if he was just, one of these dudes that was, TYT, whatever, total leftist, knows he's a leftist, makes no apologies for being on the left and being a reporter on the left, wouldn't even have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's just constantly saying, no, I equally criticize all sides. Like, you fucking do not.
No. Ironically, the TYTs and stuff like that will actually criticize the Democrats way more than someone like Brian would, which is sad. It shouldn't be that way.
That's true, especially lately. Yeah, they've been very critical of the modern Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Fans.
Awesome.
I'm just happy your mom is.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, my mom is watching, and I'm sure she's crying because she has loved both of you guys.
Well, I'm going to take the opportunity to say, Richard, if you do get elected, I'm going to be the first guy to stop in your office and ask you to write a piece of legislation to break up media monopolies and make sure that the media can't have contracts with the government.
Let's do it. Absolutely, without a doubt. I want to bring back the fair.
Yeah, let's not worry about healthcare or feeding people or whatever you want to think of. Let's think about something that may affect Brian. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Richard. I want you to break up these monopolies because they will not
hire me. 100%. The first thing that popped in my head when he fucking said that. Yeah.
Exactly.
This doctrine that requires honor and integrity in our news media. And they got rid of that with Ronald Reagan. And ever since then, we have flooded the news media with absolute trash. We've got to get back to that. We should
I love
absolutely.
this when they go on about the
everybody-
fairness doctrine and how Brian wants to bring. Brian, you're the person that's going to get fined the most.
And this is what's funny. They act like, I
You don't
guarantee
understand. Yeah, that goes both ways, you know.
yes, the overwhelming majority of people don't trust the media anymore. But unfortunately, it's one. Some people don't trust it one way. Some people don't trust it the other. Then guys like us don't trust it because we know they sold out to both sides, and it's But they nobody trusts the media anymore. And Brian, you're a fucking hack when it comes. You're a huge part of this fucking problem. Huge.
Well, no, what they want to do is they want to put the fairness doctrine back in. The fairness doctrine was any news media has to give equal coverage to all sides of a story.
Yes, which
Has to, or you get fined or shut down, removed. You cannot. Which for me, that sounds like much stricter government control.
yeah, I don't even
than
agree with
anything,
it.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that means the guy, let's just take it. Even I don't like Trump, but I'll show the guy that tried to kill Trump. We got to give his point of view now, equally,
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to
it's
have, equal time for both sides.
yeah, no, a story.
That's why talk radio and stuff and news radio and things like that didn't take off until the late '80s because they got rid of the fairness doctrine.
Exactly.
So they can actually do entertainment. Rush Limbaugh was one of the first to really rise up through that because he was actually entertaining, and didn't have to be just boring guy on the news, just giving news.
Yeah, even doesn't equal honest. Even doesn't equal fair. I want honest, fair reporting. I don't want even.
Well, if the fairness doctrine comes back, then Brian would not be able to write his hit pieces anymore. He would have to just straight up and down just report the facts of a story. He could not give any kind of editorial to it at all.
In this country should all be on one side saying that the news media must be honest. That's what has to happen.
Well,
If
I'll
both
tell you
sides
guys.
say it,
I'll tell you guys. I live in the purple state of Florida, right? And I had a Trump balloon.
is that purple because they're squeezing your nuts? Is that why? It's
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had a Trump balloon who's
Trump balloon.
who's a plumber
John
and a
doesn't
landscaper
understand that.
because everybody needs two jobs. in
Pretty
this
much
country.
every
But anyway,
election cycle.
he
is
wait a
that.
minute. Wait.
John doesn't understand that things change over time. I don't think he gets this concept because he's always like, Florida's purple. Florida's purple. They voted for Obama twice. It's like, yeah, okay, that was then. This is not the swing states change almost every single presidential election cycle. They're almost there's a few that sort of stay the same, but they change a lot. They're always changing.
No,
I
he
think
just,
John understands that.
he fights to say it's purple. It's more red at this fucking point.
Oh,
But,
it's absolutely red at this point.
A minute, before you get to that, I hate to interrupt you, but do you know what Scott Bessent said from the Brady briefing room 2 weeks ago about that very issue?
What?
He said, the average American is glad that we're getting rid of illegal immigrants so that they can work overtime and get a second or third job. And I said, no, dumbass. We want health care. We don't want to work more than 40 hours a week. And I know people that are having to work 2 or 3 gigs just to make ends meet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this asshole is saying we're all behind him for doing it.
all right, I know. It's anecdotal, but I like to believe, and I don't like to believe. I believe that people that have to work more than one job now, like me, had to work more than one job under Biden, had to work more than one job under Trump the first time, had to work more than one job under Obama. This has been going on for years. For years and years. This isn't, as much as I hate Trump, this isn't it wasn't like I was living the high life 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden I need to work 2 jobs. It's just not how it is.
Especially just not in this last year.
Right. It's, if you need to work 2 jobs now, you probably did 4 years ago. It's like,
That's actually a good
Yeah.
point. I never really thought about it like that. Or sometimes you got to get another gig for the weekend, just for a little while.
Yeah, where I think there may be people working like maybe doing like Uber or working a second job so they have more spending money. You know what I mean? Because maybe they have less. Because obviously, cost of living is going up. No doubt. But um, I don't I don't think the people that are doing it to get by, like me, this has been going on years. Yes, it's getting worse, but it's been getting worse. It sucked under Biden too. The great we had the big greed session there, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So yeah, this has been going on for a while.
And
It's
I
not
don't
like it was a
understand
sudden thing.
And I don't even understand what Brian was getting at. That meandered all over the fucking place. He was like starting off making a point, and he just sort of spun out of control.
Young old vibes. I was a multimillionaire. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
And as you said, I have no love for this fucking man, and he's not helping. But this didn't just all fucking like stop. These guys never analyzed why people felt they had to vote for Trump. Yeah, I mean that's a good one too. Like Ojeda voted for Trump the first time. He's admitted that because he knew Hillary. He knew what Hillary was, and that's why I used to respect her because I knew what Hillary was going to be too. Granted, I didn't have faith in Trump, but I didn't vote for. I live in a blue state, so I get to throw my vote away. I get to do the protest vote every 4 years if I want, and I usually like vote third party or write somebody in. But yeah, I knew Hillary was going to suck, so that's why people voted for Trump because they knew. And yeah, this is where Krypton and I disagree. I don't think Trump's doing a good job, but I understand why people voted for him, especially the first time. You know.
Well, I said to this guy, when Trump started this tariff bullshit, I said, "This ain't gonna end well, Dave." And he goes, "No, don't worry. It's all gonna work out for us." 2 weeks ago, I talked to that same guy. I go, "How things going?" He goes, "Fucking asshole has fucked up my whole life. My whole life. People can't even pay me anymore." And you know what? That's a microcosm of.
I don't believe that story one bit. Again,
no, of everything that's never happened, that never happened the most.
Again, not defending Trump. So that guy's a plumber and a landscaper, which is interesting because plumbers usually make damn good money and don't need to do a second job, John. So that's one reason I don't buy your story. And as someone that landscapes, granted, I live in a totally different part of the country. I live in a more wealthier state than John, but business is booming for it's because
spring.
You know who pays for landscaping, John? People with money, not working class people that like. So these people that were making money, the wealthy, are still making their money. And no one, I can't imagine, landscaping is not a necessity. So I can't imagine all these people are hiring this guy and they're not paying him. I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. That's something
John
you can
doesn't understand how, well, I'll just leave it there. John doesn't understand anything, but he really doesn't understand how regular work happens. Like, he doesn't understand working.
Right. He hasn't worked in fucking forever.
He's never had an actual job.
Yeah, true. In his adult life, that is true. Yeah. Last job Real had is when he was throwing those fucking 800-pound tires around, whatever. Fred Monkhouse, when there's a lack of workers, wages go up. There is a reason wages are low in America. Can't expect good wages when you can import cheap labor. Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons why. I think there's greed is part of the reason. There's obviously cheap labor overseas, it kills us. A lot of things that kill us, but yeah.
Importing, illegals for cheap labor as well is probably not helping a whole lot.
Yeah, that doesn't help either. There's a lot of things aren't helping. But I always found this.
Yeah, he did move arcade machines around once for.
Oh, did he do that? I don't remember that one. I remember the tires.
Royce's Arcade.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when he was doing his podcast at first, he was moving arcade machines around for Royce during the day. Then after he was done, he'd do his podcast at the end of the day.
it kills me. So like if you can't make enough podcasting, man, just get a real fucking job. Some of these guys, fuck. Shit, I forget what I was saying. We'll move on.
But he doesn't
know,
know how
of this
anything
country-
works, is basically what I'm saying.
No,
It's
he
like
doesn't.
He's over here talking about tariffs. Oh, this is not going to go well. Yeah, financial consultant Stuttering John, who often can't find his wallet, is going to tell you all about the financial decisions of the government.
Yeah. Granted, maybe they affected the plumbing part of it, but tariffs did not really affect the landscaping. I can tell you, most landscapers already have their equipment, and it's gas prices actually affect it more than anything else because pretty much everything you use runs on gasoline. But so you can say maybe the war, John, but not anyway. But I don't believe that this fucking guy's like, John, you were right. Nobody can afford to pay me anymore. Like, okay,
No, that
dude.
story's completely made
Yeah,
up.
come on.
right now because a lot of people are starting to wake the fuck up, smell the roses, and go, what the fuck are we doing?
200,000 more Democrats voted in Texas than Republicans.
That'd be great.
That right there tells you that people in this country are tired of this garbage. They're tired of this
Voted
path
for
that we have
what?
been placed on. And I'm telling you right now, look, just like I said,
Look, this shit happens. Like he's like again, they're just talking Democrat versus Republican, and this is what bothers me about these motherfuckers. They're not talking about actual issues.
What did they vote for? He just
Yeah, I
said
don't.
200,000 more people, Democrats in Texas. 200,000 more Democrats than Republicans voted in Texas. For what?
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about local election. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. But,
In the Democrat primary?
yeah, come on, dude. We don't need
knowing
no
a Janet,
details.
something like that.
That'd be
some
hilarious.
Sort of Democrat primary event or some voting or something like that happened for the Democrat Party. And that's what he's taking this information from. I guarantee it's something like that.
But also, like things have not been great for a while. So it's every other for a while now. Then all right, suppose a Democrat wins the presidency next time around. It's gonna be some fucking corporate fucking shill who ain't gonna
'cause you
do
have to
shit. Yeah, and then all this is gonna go back the other way, and everyone's gonna vote Republican. Like, it's not the Democrats. This version of the Democrat Party is not the answer. The Democrat Party my whole life has not been the answer. The Republican Party my whole life has not been the answer.
No.
You're acting like they're sick of this trajectory. We've been on the same trajectory my whole 40 fucking something years on this fucking planet, dude. Come on.
That is true. Yeah, nothing's
Yeah.
changed. It doesn't matter who the president is.
It's when I went to I don't want to give away what year I was born. Well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But a lot of economists, they use a certain year, and they're like, ever since this year, productivity's gone up, fucking CEO pay's gone up, but pay's gone blah blah. And it's the year I was fucking born, so my whole life you're getting fucked. And that's just and there's been many presidents in my life, so
Donald Trump won this district by 16 points, and now he's -7. And I'm going to be honest with you, this entire administration is going to have to be held accountable. They don't just get to say, hey, it's over, we're gone. No, they must be held accountable. We're talking about Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio for just the disappearance of people
hope
from
not.
the
I hate
streets of
that
this
part.
country and sent to gulags and other places. And I'm going to tell you right now,
Stephen Miller.
we've got, yes, absolutely, Stephen Miller was done. But, when I was in Afghanistan, I relied on interpreters. And right now, Donald Trump and them are now saying that they're going to send interpreters that were with us in combat to Sudan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a better life.
He just sent a woman who had asked for
What? I don't know what the
had
fuck
asked
he's
for
talking about. He's just saying shit.
yeah.
That's
So
the whole deal with these guys. I know, especially with Ojeda. He just says shit.
I can tell you there's been, I have not looked into it, but there has been reporting that Trump wants to send people to random fucking countries, it seems like, or whatever. I don't know what's true and all that.
I haven't heard anything about that, but then again, I don't really fucking care.
Well, this is what I'm going. I'm not saying I don't care about these people, but again, they were just talking about economic issues, and now they're switching it to.
He's going to deport people to Sudan.
Yeah, which has nothing to do with what they were literally just talking about. They're all. That's what I mean. Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. Yeah. Stick to some fucking issues and hammer home some fucking details on it, not just fucking this thing, this whitewash thing they do.
To give Brian some credit, he at least knows about a lot of this stuff. He might spin it to fit into his own world.
Yeah. He's more knowledgeable.
But he actually knows about all this stuff. Richard and John, they don't even know anything about this. Like Richard, his whole political research is just fucking whatever he pops up on Facebook. It's just memes on Facebook. And John
knows even less.
At pictures.
I mean, look how confused he looks right there. He doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Citizenship and was here because she was beaten and raped in Colombia and asked for, sanctuary here and had been given it.
I don't think anybody likes Cash Patel at this point, no matter what side you're on.
A country she's never been, where she knows no one. And this is someone looking for sanctuary because of political and personal experience in Colombia. That's the government we have.
Yeah, they're probably just dropping them off, and the countries they're getting them have probably no plans for these people. I mean, this.
Well, how could you?
Yeah, this is just absolute buffoonery that we're seeing.
So he's just making up a
levels.
scenario.
But I do want to.
So, like I said, I've heard somebody and they got no plans for these people. Well, if anyone's accepting immigrants from us that aren't from their country. Obviously, Trump's working with them. They're getting something out of it, whatever. I'm not saying it's right. It's fucking wrong to send someone to a country they're not from. But they're acting like we're just dumping people off at random. Here you guys go. We're dropping people off at your border. See ya. We can't do that. That obviously these countries, if this is happening, and like I said, I have heard some of this reporting. If it is happening, they're obviously agreeing to it and working with the United States. It's not like...
Or at least just agreeing to it, even if they don't have a plan to do anything with these people and they just get dropped off.
I'm not saying...
Yeah, you still can't just drop somebody off in a country and say, see ya.
No, we can't just go to there. We can't even go in their airspace without talking. You know what I mean? Like, this has to all be coordinated. Yeah, we can't... Right. So, it's obviously like you scratch my back, I scratch yours if this shit is happening. It's
or at least some sort of an agreement to bring back people that left their country.
Sorry.
For our asylum seekers that has decided that, because every single person that actually crosses the border tries to get asylum for whatever reason. That doesn't mean they're going to get it. Just because you're seeking asylum doesn't mean you deserve asylum.
Let's see what the Australian is saying. We sent illegals to Papua New Guinea and paid them to take them. Illegals stop coming. Yeah, I'm not as nasty on it, but Brent, and I do love you, Brent. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some kind of, if we're doing this, there's some kind of deal in place here. Where we're not just, as you said, we're not just randomly dropping people out like, hey, London, here's some people from Sudan, or hey, fucking Pakistan, here's some people from Mexico. Like, that's just not happening. Where there's agreements in place.
Weren't these guys just talking about honesty and reporting in politics?
Yeah, come on, dude. And telling all sides evenly. What's up, Mr. Jacob Waters? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, there's no honesty with these fucks.
Because, well, first of all, we didn't have a problem in Iran until Donald Trump caused one. And in my honest opinion, he caused one to distract from the Epstein files. Because
you're not the only one of that opinion, John.
That's the exact... It's not epic fury. It's...
Okay, so this is something you and I usually disagree on, the Epstein stuff, and usually I agree. I think a lot of things get done to distract from Epstein, but I think this is Israel has a big thumbprint on this one as well. Yeah,
And also, every single president, and well, what used to be excluding Trump, but now including Trump, in my entire life has bombed Iran over the exact same shit with their fucking nuclear. Well, the same excuse for their nuclear research thing. Every single one.
Yeah, but Obama got the deal, but yeah, like, and I don't agree with what we're doing here, but
Neither do I. But yeah, this one is definitely led by Israel.
yeah, and there could even be some. Look, if Israel is involved in the Epstein shit, there could even be like Epstein connotations in there, but Israel is leading this one 100%.
And also,
Epstein file.
Everybody's had issues with Iran for quite a long time. This is not new to Trump.
Yeah, I agree. And then again, unfortunately, a lot of our politicians have been puppets for Israel.
All of them, pretty much.
It's very frustrating.
Files is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. So now he's trying to negotiate. Obama had this sealed and done.
Well, wait a minute. Here's what happened. All right. Barack Obama worked for 20 months with, I think, as many as a half a dozen countries to negotiate a deal which meant that they wouldn't enrich uranium, and there were international inspectors allowed on the ground. Donald Trump broke the deal during his first administration because he doesn't like Barack Obama.
Yes.
Then in the second administration, he said they're struggling to get we've got to stop them from getting a bomb, which we had a deal for them not to do, and he broke it. So then he bombed them, and he said with the B-2 bombers that I've obliterated every chance to build a bomb. Then 6 months later, he started a war because he was afraid they would build a bomb. They cannot have a bomb, and started the war based on the fact that he said they were 2 weeks to a month away from building a bomb, which they hadn't built in 60 years, and they had said they wouldn't build, but now he says we do, and don't even get the Strait of Hormuz. They closed it. Now we have a blockade around their blockade. They didn't have control of the Strait of Hormuz before the war. Everything that's going on is because of Donald Trump, his administration, and how they screwed the pooch.
And it's also important to understand that when Donald Trump finally said that, he was told it was time. Remember, 6 months before this, we bombed them back into the Stone Age. They'll never be able to.
No, Reagan did too.
They're weeks away from, hours away from a nuclear capability. And
I don't think Obama did, but
well, I mean,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Landed in Iran.
He did bomb a lot of shit, but that may have been one of the ones he left alone.
Sure Bush did. Clinton, I wouldn't doubt. But I mean, the one thing that I can't say Brian is correct about is like we've been bombing the shit out of Iran for as long as I've ever known, and it's always the same excuse. They're trying to build a nuclear bomb, and then we always stop because we said, okay, no, they can no longer do it. We made a deal, and then whatever, we're bombing them again because they're trying to make a nuclear bomb, and then we make it. That's why I was never interested in covering Iran, because like literally this is just Groundhog Day with that fucking country. Although this time I will say that it is true that Israel sort of pushed us into this one.
In my youth, it was more Iraq, but yeah, I know what you. We've been fucking over. I mean, we started fucking over Iran in the 1950s. Is that when we installed the Shah? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
not that
like
I was there,
or
but
50s,
yeah,
something like that. And
so.
then when well, no, we didn't have problems with Iran then because we had our puppet dictator in there.
Yeah.
And then once he got kicked out and the mullahs took over, or the Ayatollahs took over, or Khomeini.
Yeah. Stick a hola in the Ayatollah.
Yeah, then they just started, obviously went fanatical.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Made his decision because of the communications he had with Jared, Steve. He's talking to people that aren't part of our military. They're not part of that. They're not part of our intelligence. He's doing this because Jared told him to.
honestly,
I mean, this is just
don't
buffoonery.
forget, 2 days, I think it was two or 3 days
John,
before
not
he
even paying
started the
attention.
war.
Nope.
Who visited him in the Oval Office?
He's like, oh, who's Jared? The subway guy?
Honestly, I'm wondering who Jared is.
I'm guessing
is he talking
Kushner.
about like Steve Miller and Jared Kushner?
Yeah, I'm definitely guessing Kushner.
Office, Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, Jesus.
And when we asked why, we were told no big
You said a
reason.
name
We're
I
not, it's
understood.
national security. And then 2 days later, we started the war. Why do you think he started it? Bibi asked him to.
He's finally got a useful idiot in Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And every other president said, no, we're not doing that bullshit. But Donald Trump,
And then he says he's completely won it. So he sends Jared, to your point, Richard, to Islamabad, Pakistan to negotiate a deal, which of course he wants for himself. And then after 21 hours, calls it off and brings him back home, saying that they are impossible to deal with and they can't make a deal. However, it took Obama 20 months and a half a dozen countries to work out a deal. Donald Trump gave up after 21 hours with a vice president, JD, I love my sofa Vance, and Jared, I'm going to make money off of it, Kirshner. So all I can tell you is, brother, this is as big with all this bullshit around here. There's got to horseshit. With all this horseshit around here, there's got to be a big ass pony somewhere.
Well,
all right. So I'll say this and let Cryptid say what he wants because we always disagree on this. So I don't want to beat it to death. So I'll just say my part here. I think Trump, how impulsive he is, has screwed us here when it comes to any sort of negotiations because he's backed out of so many. He's kind of using negotiations at certain points to find out where their leaders are, to attack their leaders. It's like, I don't think they even want to trust us anymore at this point. So I have no idea how this is going to end. I did hear today that Iran proposed, I think, a 3-part peace treaty at this point. Like they'll take place in different time frames, 3 different time frames. And I think Trump rejected it already or whatever. I think he said they haven't suffered enough or been punished enough or something. So I don't know how the fuck this is going to end, but I just think negotiating is next to impossible at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had to deal with Middle Easterners from the Middle East. I have. And what's more than likely happening here is they're just trying to ask for too many concessions from what I would imagine. And really, you need to convince them that you are significantly stronger or in a more powerful position than to them to make them capitulate. I've had to do it myself before. But they're probably asking for a lot of concessions and probably a lot of stuff that we just not want to do. I imagine what's happening here is Trump wants them to stop with the nuclear weapons and stop attacking their neighbor countries. Period. End of story. That's the deal. We stop killing you when you stop trying to make nuclear weapons and stop attacking your neighbors. And they're probably going oh, we need to do this, that, or we know we have to have this, that, and the other thing. They're probably trying to get a bunch of concessions. And Trump probably said, no, fuck off. Okay, no deal. We're just going to keep fucking killing you until you finally agree to stop attacking your neighbors and stop trying to make nukes. That's what I'm assuming it is.
See, told you guys we disagree. Yeah. 2 totally different things. But that was the good thing about the streams. But
yeah.
There's also something, too, and it was supposed to happen today. Donald Trump, and I believe it was Namibia, Donald Trump has basically told them that he wants their mineral rights. And if they don't give Donald Trump their mineral rights, which means to let us go down there and mine the shit out of their country, he's going to stop the flow of AIDS drugs.
Jesus.
And when you're talking about poor countries where diseases run rampant, and the AIDS medicine is what's keeping a lot of people alive, and cutting that off is a death sentence for every single person in that country who currently is living with AIDS.
And let's not forget, Donald Trump killed what?
Why is it our fucking
167?
responsibility? First off, why is it our responsibility to give them AIDS medication? Secondly, I doubt that that's true.
So I this, if I'm being fair on this one, I think it's a dickhead thing to stop, but I also see your point. The selfish part of me cares less about this shit than other shit. Not gonna lie. I mean,
I'm sure this had something to do with like USAID or something like that, or some sort of aid that we're giving out to countries that aren't reciprocating.
Yeah,
we're not getting anything from them for the aid that we put out. It's probably this AIDS medication is probably part of that aid, and something was probably brought forward saying, "Well, you're not exploiting any of your natural resources. Let us come in and do that, and you can pay, and you can actually pay for the aid that you've been getting." It's probably something that's probably more like the truth.
I'm sure that's probably what it is. And as poor countries and continents, I don't expect anything from them. So I would, these things I have no problem with us just continuing to send them aid. But I'm also, like I said, these aren't my top issues.
Yeah.
And Trump always is when you elect a businessman, you say you want to run like a business. Well, this is what happens, because you're not wrong. If he's not getting anything in return, a businessman wants something in return. So
I'm just saying that's more than likely
that's my guess. My guess is he's like, we're sending you this aid. You guys got to at least send us something. Blah blah blah. It's probably what it was. Yeah.
Innocent
163 little girls.
Little
Good guys
girls.
don't bomb schools. Good guys don't bomb facilities that clean water so people can have clean drinking water.
Good guys
We
don't
did that.
start wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
As my old man used
Did
to
he
say,
wrap it
son, you're
around
not
back
going
to
to
Iran, because that was an Iranian that was an Iranian interceptor that went haywire and hit that school, by the way.
See, we're gonna agree to this, and not that I know. I'm just saying I've heard.
Well, they showed a
the
video
opposite,
from it,
but,
and
yeah.
whatever it was 100% not a Tomahawk.
Okay.
Well,
Start a
if you've
fight.
ever seen an explosion of a Tomahawk, has 1,000-pound high explosive warhead on it. What hit actually just sent a little fountain of, sent a big fountain of dirt up. When a Tomahawk hits, everything in around is fucking destroyed.
Okay. I'll have to look into it. I don't have
Or is it 2,000 pound? 1,000 pound, 2,000. I forget. Whatever. When a Tomahawk hits something, there's no there is no mistaking the absolute destruction that happens.
Okay.
Whereas this, it just looked like a fucking dart hit the ground real fast. So it's probably what it looks like is because they were shooting at Tomahawks from that base. Now this was on a base, by the way. It was this girls' school was literally just a repurposed building on this military base, and they were literally launching interceptors trying to knock down Tomahawks that were flying overhead from that base. So what it actually looks like is a interceptor went up, went haywire, and came back down and landed near the school and blew up. And they showed the explosion. And as I said, just a fountain of dirt that goes up, not a big blast.
Okay.
But you may not start one, but you better end them. So Donald Trump doesn't care. And by the way, I think today is the day his 60 days are up, and he's got to report to Congress by law because he has 60 days to do as he wishes with this war, but now he needs congressional approval. And of course, he didn't do it.
No.
And I was just gonna say, and I forgot. Go ahead, Mommy Major.
I just, the thing about
Even Brian's laughing at John. Jesus. That congressional approval thing. I agree, but again, I don't think presidents even do that anymore, and Congress doesn't even hold them accountable anymore. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I can't remember never mind. I can't remember, so I'm not going to say it.
it is that where's the courage in the Republican Party? Where's the courage? Because they would have let this country burn to the ground as long as they get to still stay in a position of authority. That's all they care about. These are cowards. Look, Pete Hegseth is nowhere near qualified for that job. I am way more qualified for that job than Pete Hegseth, and I'm nowhere near qualified for that job.
Oh, this is what I wanted to ask you.
Richard, my
You know who's qualified for that
5-year-old
job? Whoever the president puts in that position. It's not. The Secretary of Defense doesn't even need to be a military person. In fact, hasn't been for. There's been a long time where there wasn't a person from the military.
Yeah. A sober guy would help, but yeah.
Hey, he's quit. Maybe.
grandson is more qualified for that job than Pete Hegseth.
See, don't exaggerate now,
Cleans
Brian.
in front of a mirror, cosplays himself as the minister of war, and he has about as much common sense as that toenail clipping from my dead dog.
But
Fuck
he watched
that
Pulp
noise.
Fiction. He
Why are you
watched
hanging
Pulp
on to that?
Fiction.
Yes,
That's
well,
weird.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's weird.
He quoted the Bible, but it was actually Pulp Fiction. You gotta love that.
I
Too.
know that. What I wanted to ask you guys.
Wait a minute, did you see the audience when he started quoting Pulp Fiction? They're all laughing at him
I
because they
know.
know.
Because he's a buffoon. But what I want.
Look, I don't want to let the guy off the hook, but I doubt that everyone in the audience knew that wasn't an actual Bible quote. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that for the longest time either. Who fucking cares?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, the Ezekiel whatever.
Yeah,
from Pulp
yeah.
Fiction. Yeah. It's not a real Bible quote.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, it's sort of kind of like it, but it was punched up by a writer.
Yeah, exactly.
To ask you is Pam Bondi now has to speak, and it can be she has to testify, right? She's going to get interrogated. Now, what is she going to do? We know she fucking she's been protecting Donald Trump.
She's going to try to spin and spin and spin is what she's going to try to do.
Pam
She's not going to try
Bondi
to answer anything honestly.
The average, what is it? The average Uber driver
Bondi's out, right?
makes $25,000 a year.
Yeah, they're
That's the exact amount of money.
She was
that-
out like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
I think
Or
she
like
has,
last week.
yeah, she's supposed to testify on. They're talking about probably testifying in front of Congress or something again, but she's not. They never. I don't know. They're not going to answer. Like, who cares? Like, not that I don't care, but it's like we know how this all goes. No one ever. The congressional hearings are just for show, for the people asking the questions and the people answering the questions. They just want their viral moment. That's it. I can't even stand those things anymore. Who cares?
And you got John here. What are they going to do? What are they going to
Yeah.
do? I don't have an opinion. Can you give me
What-
my opinion on what are they going to do?
She's gonna spin her answers like they always do. That's okay, John. Then let's move on. That's not gonna help anybody. That's what I mean. They just want to. Again, someone me who hates Trump, but I don't want to. I couldn't just do a show where I just bitched about Trump all day, the whole show. Like no
you
substance
need
to
actual
this shit.
things. You need something to actually bitch about. Like I'm sure you could do a bunch of research and look into it and find actual things that Trump has done that you don't like that you can speak on, and you would like to speak on, but. I don't. But you're not really just a orange man bad kind of guy.
Yeah, right.
You want some. There's no point in saying orange man bad, especially when there's things that I'm sure that you specifically could find and speak on that you don't like about him.
And my big issue with how our government runs is like, I know the Democrats are terrible, and they just think orange man bad is all they have to do. And they don't actually have to do anything to help people in this country or to help this country. And it pisses me off. So playing into orange man bad just plays into the corporate Democrats' hands, and none of us make out when that happens. So I have no interest in that garbage.
Well, that's why John does a political show, because all the politics that he watches, they're all just orange man bad, and they just repeat the same talking. They all just repeat the same talking points as everybody else.
Yeah.
So he thinks that I could do that.
That's easy.
It took Pam Bondi when she was down in Florida to give up prosecuting Donald Trump and support him. He donated $25,000 to her campaign, and she stopped investigating him. Pam Bondi is nothing more than Donald Trump's Uber driver. That's it. She'll go wherever he tells her to.
All right. So
Okay. I don't remember the specific amounts or anything, but I remember this. I heard this part live. This is one of the things that pissed me off. Talking about whatever donations, $25,000, blah, blah, blah. You'll never hear Brian say this, but when fucking Kamala Harris was, she the attorney AG in California, whatever she was, I can't remember.
It's AG, yeah.
AG. Steve Mnuchin had a partner, and they were like fucking people over with real estate. Like they literally kicks an elderly woman out for fucking change for owing like less than she fucked up the change on a check on their mortgage or rent, whatever the fuck it was. A bunch of shit, but that was some of the extreme stuff. They were being investigated, whatever. Steve Mnuchin donated to Kamala Harris, and she fucking killed the investigation. Just as corrupt, but Karen will never fucking say that,
No.
And it's like, this is what these people do. They're elites. They donate to each other. We've talked about it before. It's one of the few things I like that Trump said when he first ran, is that he brought to the forefront the corruption. When he made, during one of the debates where he's like, I've donated to most of these people on stage, and when I need something, they're there for me. And that's how that fucking works. It's not a Republican, Democrat thing, left, right. It's fucking, they don't care. They're elite. They take care of each other. But Brian will never bring up Steve Mnuchin donating to Kamala Harris and Kamala fucking, but he'll bring up Trump and Pam Bondi doing the fucking same thing. So
they're not their guys.
But guys, is this motherfucker ever going to be held accountable?
No.
For raping 13-year-olds?
Hold on. Here's the thing. Now, let me tell you something. Now, I know that Brian is also thinking that, Donald Trump, when all this is said and done and this is over with, at the last minute, they're going to say he's not mentally fit to be able to be prosecuted. But that's where we need to throw out all these daggone little tests that he's taken, where he's did a great job, which is really just hitting
This is what's great about Richard. He just takes anything that anybody said about Biden and tries to put it on Trump. Now he's on to he's not mentally able to stand trial. Wasn't that determined for Biden at one point?
I think he's trying to say that, number one, they have this fantasy in their head, and I'm a more reality guy. Trump, the Supreme Court's already said no president's ever getting in trouble for anything when they're out of office. It's just not happening. It's not happening. So this fantasy trial where they think Trump's going to claim he's incompetent to stand trial. So Rich is bringing up all the I can't say the word. All the tests that Trump claims he took and he passed with flying colors or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And none of this means anything because we know it's not an IQ test. We know what it's like to make sure you don't get dementia. And if Trump passes him, then okay, then he's competent, blah, blah, blah. But this trial is not happening. So none of this conversation even fucking matters.
Basic level and say,
he bragged about it again today.
That's right. So when he starts to go, because you know the deal, he's going to be like, he's going to show up in the courtroom in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank. They're going to do all this bullshit. And we need to say, but hey, he took that exam and aced it every time. He's still good to be tried, and he deserves to be tried, and he needs to be tried because the American people need to see justice in this damn country.
I agree with that, but I will remind you that
people need health care. They need food. They need education. They need shelter. They need jobs that pay enough. That's what they need. That's just like something else I thought of. If people don't know the story about when Nelson Mandela took office in South America, whatever, there was fear by a lot of the white people, the more conservative people, that he was going to get revenge for everything. And he's like, no, we need to come together on this. Like, sure, justice is nice, but they're talking more about revenge or whatever. And
it's not even that. Like, do you know what he wants to try?
Dude, I don't know. They were talking about 13-year-old girls. They were talking about war. I don't even know what specifically they're talking about, to be honest with you. No fucking
And by the way, the 13-year-old girl thing, that was, that lady is now in an asylum, so. It was just an FBI report because, the Epstein files, they're just giving out everything, right? So that was just an take it for what you will, unsubstantiated report where the woman that gave the report was found to be, insane and put into an asylum. So could it be true? I mean, depending on how deep you think you distrust the government and, maybe that this person was silenced, who knows? But what it was is it was a report to the FBI, and it was determined to be insubstantial, and the person was crazy.
Yeah, like we've had these talks, and like I said, I think he's guilty of shit like Bill Clinton is, but I'm not gonna get into all the. They just saying 13 because that's the most salacious, the worst one, or whatever.
Well,
and
that's
it's
what
like,
it said in the report. In the
Right,
FBI
right.
Report, right.
I'm just saying, like,
it was a report to the FBI. It was somebody filing. It was somebody calling in to say this about Trump to the
yeah,
FBI.
you'll never hear. I don't throw that one around because my more thing is like, there's so many accusations of women that didn't know each other. Something has to be true. Some of them have to be true. They're just throwing out obviously the one with the youngest, which is the worst, and both.
Right.
So, yeah, I wouldn't get specific, but obviously that's what they're doing because this is Orange Man bad, partisan hackery, instead of just because then suppose that one's not real. Okay, now you're fucked because now like no one can believe anything you say. So don't get all into that shit. I don't know, but they don't care.
John and Richard, actually, none of these three kind of think that far ahead.
Yeah, right.
That to your point, Richard, the test that he claimed that he aced 3 times is a mental competency test that they give people to see if they can go to trial. That's all it is. So
And there
he's
you go.
competent. He is competent to stand trial, folks.
Yeah, well, so just real quick, I think because like a bunch of people accuse Cosby and he's guilty. Like when there's like 20 something women that don't know each other, I think there's something there. With the smoke, this fight. But I get what you're saying. You're right. There isn't hard physical evidence. There isn't, and they act like there is. You're right. So that's why I'm not comfortable with throwing out all
Very
this
stupid. So they think, the accusation is good enough to bring a trial, and a trial is good enough to pull that information up, to dig into finding that information. If that information was there, I guarantee, even if it was in the Epstein files, I guarantee it would have been leaked and put out there somewhere. 100%.
As I said, they're not. You said they're not thinking ahead of, and I said they're not. They're too loose with this stuff. They're too fast and loose. And when you do that, when something turns out not to be true, like suppose he did assault, whatever, a couple other women, but not that girl. Well, now you may have fucked that whole situation up because you're acting like it's a slam dunk, and it's just.
Yeah, but as I said, these three don't care about that.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
They just want to say the salacious thing.
Yes.
So he's shooting himself in the foot by bragging about how he aces the. And once again, this test, anybody who takes this test, at a minimum, should at least ace it because it's the basic, level.
I'm pretty sure.
Rabbit, cow.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the test is what is your name? Where are you at? What is your birthday?
My name's Corn Pop.
Think he'll ever be held accountable. I think that there are plenty of people. I think it's going to be a lot like Nixon. I think the big key to watch between now and the end of the year is if at any point in time the Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader end up on the daily guidance, say as a last, amended daily guidance. The Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader will be meeting with the President in the Oval Office. If we ever see that on guidance, I'm going to tell you right now, that means they have whipped the votes and they know that he's going to be impeached and he's going to be convicted in the Senate. And so they're going to go to him and say, listen, much like it was done with Nixon, and Howard Baker did it, I believe.
This isn't happening. Yes, I think he's been convicted and he's been impeached in the House, right? But not the Senate. Is that what happened before? Whatever's happened.
He's been impeached like 3 times.
Yeah, but he's got Nixon things where he's going to be walked out and forced to resign because all these Republicans are going to flip on him. And that's not happening, dude. He already fucked up by going after him for stupid shit. Again, I think there's some real shit you could have gone, when you go after him for fucking Stormy Daniels, nobody gives a fuck.
If you go after about the Steele dossier, that was the first one.
They have the worst,
which they determined was a fake document months before the impeachment, it was already, the FBI already said, oh no, this is 100% fake. And then they still go through with the impeachment anyway.
They have the worst instincts. They're terrible. The Dems. There's almost nothing good about them.
Yeah.
Go to him and say, look, you're going to have to go. The difference is that these two guys will have to show up with a crowbar and a hell of a lot of sedatives to pry Donald out of that office because Donald won't want to go.
Okay, now listen. Lastly, I do want to ask you, this is the thing that terrifies me, Brian, because I was talking to Army Major about this on the phone earlier.
The
redistricting. I can't believe the Supreme Court, again, is fucking taking the rights out of minorities.
What surprises you about that? Richard, does that surprise you?
But this is a Supreme fucking Court, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Said
a
everyone,
corrupt
John.
Supreme Court. This is the reason why, and as much as I don't like it, we may need to expand the courts to get rid of these friggin' assholes. And then we need
Did you
to
see
have
what
term
the
limits
Supreme
on Supreme
Court ruled on that?
Yeah, I think my
Basically, they
wife told
decided
me.
it's unconstitutional to create districts based on race.
Yeah, the whole districting thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's basically unconstitutional to create districts solely based on race, which is, there's a lot of districts that have been basically created in that fashion. Basically, all the black neighborhoods, or this goes all ways. All the Mexican neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, Indian neighborhoods, and stuff like that. They'll try to get them all into, like, whoever what is running or whatever will try to solidify their chances by getting all their district to be all the same people. So that's when you come up with the weird stuff. And there's other factors as well, but basically any districts that are basically created under various racial demographics is basically unconstitutional, which it's hard to disagree with.
Yeah, that's how they did it. I didn't know the specifics on it. I just and I knew there was going to be some redrawing of the maps and shit after all that. I do think that this is. I actually have to disagree with Richard Ojeda. Like, I do think the Supreme Court is corrupt as fuck. And yes, it's not just, believe it or not, sure, Clarence Thomas is the worst one by far if you look into it, but it's not just them. It's not just him. It's the gifts that the Supreme Court members are allowed to accept is fucking crazy to me. And I do think some of the lifetime shit is fucked, but they played it right. And so now you can't, as much as I would like to add judges to fix this shit, that's a fucking scary precedent you're setting. Because then
exactly,
you can't do that shit, man. Look,
because the next administration will come in and just pad it with more judges.
Yeah, this is the Supreme Court shit where Obama and the Dems let the Republicans steal a judge from them when he had 11 months left, and then let them take one. Look, the second one sure should have been Trump. One of those should have been Obama's, and one of them should have been fucking Trump. But Dems are pussies.
But they wouldn't kick out. Or they wouldn't ask. What's her old ass name? Whatever. The one that didn't leave but ended up dying or whatever.
That's where I was going next. That fucking old bitch.
She should have been out 20 years ago.
Yes, she should have retired under Obama so he could have done it. Like, I forget, one of the right-wing judges did that under Trump. He retired under Trump so he could do his fucking third judge there. Yeah. And she's the ego on her. I'm blanking on her name too. Fucking that old
I can't believe I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she's the most famous
one of the most
ones.
famous ones.
Right.
Yeah.
But that the Dems, they were pussies and they got steamrolled twice on two judges, and then she wouldn't fucking retire, but the right wing judge did. You got outplayed, outmanned, and what sucks, this does bother me because I do think the courts are the one thing that shouldn't be fucking. If there's gonna be something that's not corrupt, it should be the fucking Supreme Court. But it's one of the most corrupt.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Voltaire got it.
Yes.
I could have looked
Thank
it
you,
up,
Voltaire.
but I knew somebody in the chat would get it.
That fucking bitch. It's like, and the reason, and I still fully believe the reason they didn't fight that fucking 11th month one is because they thought Hillary was going to win. So they didn't think it was going to matter. Well, how'd that work out?
Court justices, because a lifetime is bullshit. Clarence Thomas is absolutely
Massive
completely corrupt as can be.
Compromise as hell.
Compromise in the pockets. And that's the thing, is billionaires today, a billionaire is not a real billionaire unless they got a Supreme Court justice in their pocket, and every one of them does. We still don't know who paid the $300,000 for Kavanaugh's fees for the golf club. I mean, goodness, come on. It is corrupt. It's as crooked as Gargamel's dick.
I have a question.
You say
for
that
you.
on the campaign trail, Richard?
I have a question for you guys from my good buddy Vegas Beer Sells Jerry. Would any attorney general under any future president have the balls to prosecute Trump? Garland didn't.
Make Jack Smith. Do Glenn
Or
Kirshner.
what?
I guarantee you they will.
Well, Glenn Kirshner would. We would definitely
Jack
know
Smith. I think Jack Smith will too. I mean, I think it's a win-win for either one of those.
Brian, do you think anybody would?
I think Glenn would do it, definitely. And without a doubt. I know him, pretty good guy. And I think Jack Smith would. He still reminds me of Coach Beard in Ted Lasso, but he looks like Coach
God, I would have loved to get on this show instead of John's regular show. I'd be like, when are you guys going to talk about the issues that affect people? Instead of, again, getting revenge for the guy you don't like. Again, I don't like him either.
Once again, try him for what?
They're not getting specific. No, look, I'd go after somebody.
It doesn't matter anything as long as they try him for something, anything. Just put him on trial.
Yeah,
you can't put people on trial because you don't like them.
And a big problem is, look, in my opinion, there's a lot of greedy corporate money, corruption shit going on there, Trump. But the Dems do it too, so they're not gonna do that. That's the reason they went after stupid shit like the fucking porn star, because they got billionaires and fucking Wall Street fucking buying them too. So they can't go after Trump for that shit. Because if they get caught, if people start going after them for the exact same shit, they're also going to end up in jail. But these three never bring that shit up, and John probably doesn't even know it. Richard, I know, knows it, or he used to know it. That's why I wanted to talk to him, because he changed on that shit. He used to be as passionate as me on that stuff, and now he doesn't even bring it up. And Brian's just a smug fucking prick.
Weird to me, but yeah, I think he would. But here's I don't think Donald Trump. I don't think he's long for the world. I have seen him today. He went for an hour, but he was seated, and he had the Republicans standing for an hour behind him. He can't stand and do much anymore. His health is questionable, mental and physical both. I don't know if he survives to be prosecuted.
Okay, now he's not surviving the presidency, but earlier you're saying he's going to be pried out of there. They're going to have to yank him out to fucking impeach him. They got a million different storylines going on. All of them are Trump gets impeached. Trump gets charged with fucking crimes in court. Trump dies. These are their fantasies instead of helping people. This is what they care about.
Well,
yeah.
They'll prop him up. They'll prop him up and keep him in a position.
Until he goes belly up and starts babbling like a cicada. Yeah, you're probably right. But I
Biden?
am curious as to how this all plays out. And to Richard, that's why I really would love it if you get into Congress, because you will see. Just don't go native. Most of the people, when they get into Congress, they go native. And I've
go native.
I mean, they.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately,
if you don't want to just be sitting in the back in the corner, you're gonna have to take the money. You're gonna have to take the money, Richard. You're gonna have to take the money.
I will say this: if Richard does win, there may be more pop-up shows than I plan on. I'll try and make that
he's
work.
Not gonna win.
I know, but if he does, it could be interesting.
They go nuts. They become part of the club.
I want to ban stock trading. I want to bring back the fairness doctrine. I want to end Citizens United. I want to sign on to the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. I want to make I want to make the first $40,000 that everybody in this country makes to be tax free. I want to tax the fucking billionaires. I want to tie minimum wage to the cost of living.
I was just gonna say most of what he's saying is platform of a lot of the Justice Democrats, but you can want to do all this stuff, but you know how the majority is gonna vote. You're gonna get your fellow Justice Democrats, and that's about it. And it's gonna fail. All this stuff, unfortunately. That's why if I ever ran for the House, I'd be like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I can get any of this shit done about how corrupt these motherfuckers are. But I'll try and I'll be very vocal about it. But it's the system's fucking broken.
So that the price of groceries go up, minimum wage has to go up. I mean, look, I want to go to Washington D.C. and push legislation. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there and be a comedian on the floor.
Either way, he's running
I
for
just
the
want to
House,
push legislation that's
Yeah,
going to
I
elevate
know.
people.
Brian, how much can you wait
So
to see
you want to go
Richard?
to what he really means to say is, I want to go to Washington and determine what can and cannot be financed and where the money is going to be going because the House does not push legislation.
Shh, don't tell him.
Okay.
I think it would be great because here's the problem. Here's the problem. We have a Congress that kowtows to the parties in power. Doesn't matter who's in power, they're kowtowing to it. And unfortunately, we have a media that does the same thing because they're owned by billionaires, and the people they hire
That's you.
are going to be kowtowing to the billionaires who are friends of the people in government. In fact, if you ask a tough question in the White House or in Congress, you could lose your press pass and your ability to be there. But I maintain that I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. And so when I ask a question, I know full well it could be my last day there, but I don't care because the questions have to be asked. And when you have the Speaker of the House coming out.
That's why I fucking hate this guy. You're not that guy, dude. You're not that guy, Brian. You fucking, you're not. You're not the I don't give a fuck. I gotta speak truth to power guy. You are a fucking corporate fucking shill. That's all you are. Fuck off.
Saying he believes that the Republicans are doing everything within their. We're the best power. Oh, we're going to win in the fall because the adults need to remain in charge. I want to look at him. If I was standing in front of him when he said that, I would go, "You're full of shit. What the hell are you talking about?" Which would probably get me tossed out, but I wouldn't care.
Last question, guys, before I let you go, because this is my last show. And
well, we love you and we're going to miss you.
Yes. And I'll tell you this, John, I'll just say this. Every once in a while, we need to have a gathering where we get together again.
yes,
I'm in for that.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking maybe down the line sometime I'll do just an hour of politics a week or something. But anyway, let me ask you this. Now, I'm so worried, and I was talking to the Army Major about this, Brian, earlier, and I'm going to talk. I'm Major about it, but I'm so worried that with all the redistricting and all of this nonsense that they're doing to try and win the election, are we going to take back Congress and the Senate in the midterms? What
are we? Are we?
Hold on.
Who the fuck is we, John?
Wait,
Who is we?
Hit the back button once and let's see what they're going to take back.
And all of this nonsense that they're doing to try and win the election, are we going to take back Congress and the Senate in the midterms? What say you?
What does it mean by Congress and the Senate?
Yes.
Either one.
Yes, we.
I have a family member I had an argument with about that when I asked him what the three branches of the government is. He said the president, the Congress, and the Senate.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, what do you mean by Congress and the Senate? Because the Senate is part of the Congress. The Congress
Senate
is
and
the
the House
of
is
the
Congress. Yeah. And you're forgetting about the judicial in that fucking trilogy.
Well, then
there
there's
as well.
the judiciary too, as well, obviously. But the Congress and the Senate. All right, John.
Yeah. That's a gaffe I make a lot. Well, not the three branches of government, but as you know, I accidentally call the House Congress a bunch, but at least I know these. I don't think they fucking know. Yeah,
I occasionally say like Congress or Senate or House, and sometimes mean the other or the other thing or this and that. I generally just started just saying Congressman.
Yeah,
just because it that way. It's like I don't know if there's Senate or House, so I just say Congress. There's just a congressperson. I've been known to do that on occasion.
Yeah,
But,
I think
I've done that too. But if you ask me, are we going to take back, the House and the Senate? I'd be like the House and the Senate, or Congress. Just say Congress. Are we going to be picking up any seats in Congress?
John
Obviously, he thinks Congress is the House.
Yep.
Or maybe he thinks Congress is the Senate and Senate is the House. I don't know.
Who knows what John thinks?
By the way, understand that, Florida and them trying to play this bullshit game, it's blowing up in their faces. But California did it the right way. California can redraw the map and send 52 members to Congress, all Democrats.
They didn't do that.
Illinois, John.
I had to correct Richard Braun. He was saying Illinois. So I went, Richard, it's Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois.
Yeah, that's hilarious, John. My brother does the same thing. I don't think it's funny. It's just some people fucking pronounce it that way for some reason. But Ojeda, okay, you didn't. But suppose you do spend 52 Democrats to the House. Then what? They don't do anything. They're not saviors, guys. They're not. They're fucking corporate shills too. They don't do. It's not gonna fucking save us.
And also, honestly, they keep talking about, the gerrymandering and redistricting and all this stuff. I don't think they understand that that's just for representatives. I think they believe that has some sort of effect on voting for, like, presidents and senators and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because the way they're talking, because, honestly, let's just be real here. Who gives a fuck about gerrymandering, honestly? It's representatives in the House of Representatives.
Yep.
Is all that's good for. Is all that's for the districting there. But a lot of these people, they seem to think that it has something to do with voting for the president. It's like, no, it doesn't.
No, even in the scheme of things, it don't matter because it doesn't matter as much as they like to claim because both parties will fucking work. Oh, okay, guess what? Neither one of us wants this to pass. So, you know what? Well, but a couple of these Republicans have to vote for it because it's big in their district. So let's get a couple of Dems to vote against it. But they do that shit all the fucking time. So it doesn't matter how many of either fucking side there are for the most fucking part. Unless there's like a fucking landslide and it's like a social issue, like I don't know, women's right to choose. Like unless it's a gay marriage or something like that. Other than that, all the economic issues, they work together to make sure what their donors want passes and what their donors don't want doesn't pass. So it don't matter.
17.
I always thought it was Illinois. It annoys me.
You gotta also understand, New York can do the same thing. Virginia is doing it the right way. They went and the people voted, and that's the way it is. But these red states don't even want to do that. But I'm telling you right now, look, they did in Texas. They opened up an opportunity for safe Republicans to potentially lose their seats now. So, yeah, you want to play that game? We can play.
Are we going to win in November?
You're damn straight.
All right. My answer to that is maybe, because Democrats, no one's better at snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory than Democrats.
First time I ever agree with you, Brian. They do love the fucking grasp fucking defeat at the hands of victory.
It's very typical that whoever the president is, the opposing party generally wins in the midterms.
Yeah, right.
So that's what worries me. Richard, you doing well.
It's expected.
Encourages me. The middle, I don't like a Democratic Party that is so, I'm as progressive as they come, but you have to adapt to where you're from. You're not going to get someone like AOC elected in West Virginia. So the Republicans have screwed themselves in the foot and other.
All right. I just want a quick comment on that. Like, that's something that bothered me about Brian, too. I agree, but part of that is because people like Brian telling people what someone like AOC is like. And don't get me wrong, AOC is probably the best example Brian could have gave, because she's the one of the Justice Democrats that gets stuck on stupid fucking like lingo on things that people don't care about. But I'm sure the people of West Virginia would want, the poor people would want health care and certain things that AOC is for. But because Brian let the media is like, oh, she's this crazy fucking blah blah blah. It's like, dude, you're the one that's like that say this person's like this person's like that, this person's like Mr. Honest Integrity Act. You're letting your fucking bias show, dude. You're not honest with certain fucking working class issues that certain people fucking back, because you're fucking own too, dude. So don't act like part of the reason a progressive can't be elected in West Virginia is because people in West Virginia don't want progressive economic issues. Like, I bet a lot of them do, but you're not honest with them about what these people represent. So fuck off.
Places. Marjorie Taylor Greene has attested to that. Donald Trump losing her and losing MAGA, by the way, because they said no more forever wars. We're in a war. They said better economy. We don't have it. They said, great education. We don't got it. So many MAGA members are upset with them. If the Democrats put reasonable people up to run, then they've got a really good shot. And I think they've got a damn good shot, a really good shot at taking back the House demonstrably. And they have a good chance of taking back now the Senate marginally. But if those two things take place,
if they run reasonable people,
if the Democrats,
not Richard Ojeda, he's not a reasonable person.
The problem is, by reasonable, I think Karam thinks like fucking run-of-the-mill corporate Democrat, and then people don't want that either. Right, they don't want fucking nut
the
jobs.
run-of-the-mill corporate Democrat would probably actually win versus a super progressive, because they'll have the money. They'll have the money in the DC backing.
Yeah, I mean that always does help, but yeah, you got me on that one.
Well,
win both the House and the
helps
Senate.
too.
I think it'll be a week later after and Donald Trump has already said he doesn't want to swear them in, but once they're in office and he's appealed to the Speaker of the House not to do it, they'll delay it as much as possible. And once it's done, I think it'll be about a week before he's impeached.
Well, listen, guys, I love you both. And thank you for coming on my last show. And people are like, oh, where are your buddies, Richard and Brian? Did they bail on you too? And I'm like, no, they have not. So here you guys are. More proof that these
I got buddies. They still like me.
They're talking about. So thank you guys for coming on.
Always a pleasure, John.
These are people that would rather sit back and just throw stones than get involved and fix the problems. That's what they are. Amen. And that right there tells you the type of people that they are. But
Dude, yeah, I remember, God, the one time John got me to give like multiple super chats to him. I remember Ojeda, it was a political show, and Ojeda's like calling me. He's like, get involved, start a union, this and that. Like stuff I was fucking doing at the time. And I was like, dude, fuck you. And two, not everyone has the luxury to be able to get involved. Like a lot, if they're working 2, 3, 4 jobs, like you're saying, and have fucking families, they can't get all up involved in everything, like physically and shit like that. So it doesn't mean they don't care. Like, come on.
Most people don't want to get involved.
Right. So many people are frustrated by the whole process, so they don't want to get, like me, there was a point in time in my life where I thought of like running for like local office, and like I have no interest anymore. Like I dipped my toe in it once. And
especially when you find out what it's all about. Yes,
the whole system is corrupt. I don't want to be fucking part of it. So I have no issue with someone that's just disgusted and fucked over that they don't want to get involved. And the judgmental fucking pricks, all three of them.
Well, they also think people that want to get involved are Democrats as well. If I got involved, I'd be a Republican. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, right. You wouldn't like that either. That'd be even worse.
My man.
Ojeda for Congress. Let's roll.
And Brian, anything you want to plug?
Well, first of all, I'm going to plug Ojeda for Congress, and I'll be happy to help you out any way you need, brother. And I will plug, I have a column every week in Salon. The documentary is coming out at the end of May. It's premiering during the Cannes Film Festival. I'll make sure I give you all links to that. And, of course, on Substack and every damn other
You'll be able to see it in Brian
media,
Karam's
internet
hotel room at the Cannes Film
freaking
Festival.
live stream,
From his
YouTube,
laptop.
Twitter, wherever. I'm there.
And also, guys, Richard, if you're in Florida, you better hit me up, brother, because I'll go to Tampa. I don't care. And Brian, I'll be seeing you in LA soon.
All right, my brother.
All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks for
All the
coming
way,
on.
my brother. Airborne.
Peace.
All right. All right. Well, that was fun, and I know that a lot of you guys don't want to talk
I
politics.
let this in because it's fucking
too
ridiculous.
over your heads. But it's something I'm very passionate about.
You pretend to
Very
be passionate
about
it,
love,
John.
peace, and acceptance.
Oh god.
Probably why I get a
No,
lot of
he's not.
haters. Probably why Pocky hates me so
Well, if
much.
you look at the objective
But
data,
yes, I am
Yeah,
just
always-
about
always about the
taking
objective
care
data.
of the little people, taking care of the people who don't have a voice, the
though he
people who are
believes that
marginalized
he's the little people that
and
needs to be taken care of.
destroyed by the rich. And the
Sean, if anyone in the Dabbleverse gets a quote unquote real job, you make fun of them. Like, oh, Shuli's working at the whatever, and
The
Mike's
Piggly
doing it's like,
Wiggly,
yeah, like, dude, you look down on people that work everyday jobs. Like, fuck off with this whole spiel.
this country, and that's what I stand for. Whether you fucking hate me for it, I don't give a frog's fat ass.
No, it's because you
Because
don't stand
I
for it.
know I'll
Right,
be
you're full of
on the
shit.
right side of history. I believe Donald Trump
Has
should be held
anybody on the
accountable
right side of history
for
said that they were
raping
on the right side of
fucking
history?
young 13-year-olds.
Here goes the
And
13-year-old.
has anybody who's been who has said that who says that they're on the right side of history? Have they ever been on the right side of history? Because I believe Hitler felt that honestly that they were on the right side of history.
Again, he thinks right is like, okay, Trump leaves. Now what, John? Now what? The Dems have to do something, and they ain't gonna do it. That's the problem. That's why I don't get all.
Yeah, the same old stuff with a different rapper.
Right. That's why I don't get like all excited. If I thought there was some glorious Democrat on the horizon about to fucking change things, maybe I'd have a different tune. But no, there isn't.
I would say yeah. If I
And
thought
I
there
don't
was
give a frog.
any politician that I thought was good to actually
Right. Yeah.
do it. It doesn't have. I don't care what party they're with. If I thought that they were going to really change things and make things better, I would be 100% against them, with them.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to even get passionate like that anymore because there's been a few I have thought they were
Yeah.
going to do things, and then they always not that they're usually better than the other ones, but they always let me down to too much of a large extent.
Fat ass. If you don't think he did it, he did.
John
He
knows.
fucking did.
You shouldn't be. I think Kumi
if
is
you
going
fucking
to make the point that you really shouldn't be throwing around the pedo word accusation at people.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's like the one that without actual any evidence, like being tried and convicted, the judge basically just automatically fined against you in a defamation case.
Yeah, that's much worse than the allegations you thought I made against you, John. That you made far worse than what I actually said, but yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Trump doesn't give a shit about what John says.
No, she's still trying to recover from that prank phone call.
Oh yeah. I know.
still support that guy. You got something wrong with you. You got something wrong with you. He's all over the fucking Epstein files.
Yeah, they were friends.
And that's fucking sick.
You know what?
And if
Jeffrey
you don't even
Mertman
wanna
was
get-
all over the Epstein files too.
And I'm pretty sure one of your co-hosts is
I think Billy West is
conservative,
all over
John.
there too. All over him too.
Well, sorry, your
I
former.
wouldn't doubt if Ojeda is all over the Epstein files.
That'd be funny. Look him up.
Involved with that. You want to turn your heads with that? Then let's
John's
talk
just
about
upset
other
that he's
things.
not in the
Like the
Epstein files.
goddamn economy.
But
That's
all his
tanking.
favorite
Oh, yes,
friends and comedians are.
Speaking of tanks, How's your gas tanks doing? Oh, gas is
starting to come down
$4.30 now. Well, when Biden left, it was $3.13. What happened? What happened?
You forgot about the part
Straight
where
up
it was
Hormuz.
down to like literally about $2. It was like, I think the lowest I saw here is around like 217 or something like that at one point after Trump got in office. So yeah, going back up another like couple of bucks does kind of suck, but it's nowhere near as high as it was in just before Trump took office. So
This is the shit, like, John, the people that treat politics like a sports team. This is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Biden and Trump, it's like Celtics, Lakers. It's like, oh my God, John. You're not taking it seriously, bro. Again,
but this is his passion.
No,
He
big
knows
time
nothing
passion.
about it, but it's his
No,
passion.
yeah, nothing.
Was open.
He doesn't know
There was
where the
no
Strait of
war in
Hormuz is
Iran.
or what the issue is.
What happened
doesn't
to
know
Trump
where that
ending
is
the
or what the
war in
problem with it is.
Ukraine on his very first day? What happened? What
didn't do
happened?
it.
So don't give me this horse shit.
That was funny the way his second meeting with Zelensky showed up in a suit.
Oh, the second time around, yeah.
Yeah, the second
I don't
time,
get
after the first time where he basically just sort of put Zelensky out and just unceremoniously excused him from the from the meeting, and then the next time, Zelensky went and did the tour around the EU. And they're all like, "Yes, we're going to give you money. We're going to give you support. We're going to give you money." And then a couple of the countries said, "No, we're not," and it needed to be unanimous. So he got nothing. And then he came crawling back to the U.S. to try to get some money and support. And when he did that, he arrived in a suit, and and actually basically begged and basically said we need to find a peaceful solution to this. Whereas the first time, the reason Trump kicked him out is because he said no, we need to win against Russia, and Trump said you're not doing that. That's not going to happen, and that's not going to happen unless we give you a lot of materials and money and assets.
You know what's...
And he's just and Zelensky's like, well, I got that from the EU, couldn't get it from the EU, come back saying, oh, we need peace now. Zelensky comes back in a suit saying, maybe we should try for this peace thing.
It just reminded me, like, that. Obviously, I don't pay attention as much as I did before, but, like, you don't hear about Russia, Ukraine isn't like, you don't hear about that too much in the news anymore. It's fucking weird.
No, I follow a couple of channels that put up the video footage and stuff. I follow them on X, so every now and then I see drone footage and stuff like that, and different the cameras that people like put on their heads and stuff, whatever. Video footage, so I see like stuff like that, but yeah, it's not really in the news anymore.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. We'll finish this.
Let's finish this up.
Yeah, fully agree, Kahuna. Fully agree.
Give a fuck. Just please, for the love of God. For those of you who have children,
GoPro footage.
Don't talk about
do it
kids.
for them. Support clean energy. Let's care about this planet. It's the only one we got. Because we ain't getting to another planet in fucking our lifetimes, probably in fucking 1,000 years. A planet that could fucking support life. So we might as well take care of this one. Because it's the only one we got. But I do want to thank the hopefully next congressman from North Carolina, the Army Major Richard Ojeda, and of course support Brian Karam's documentary. I'm so happy that his film is
Nobody ever
gonna
said the
be,
name of the documentary, by
played
the
at a
way.
screening
Nothing.
at Cannes Film Festival. Wish I can go.
It's a private screening, John. You can watch it on your laptop. You're fine. All right. Thank you for uploading that for us, Mr. Cryptid. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's
It's
what
the
I
only
do.
way to go out. All right, guys. So that's it. As if anyone missed it, this is our last regularly scheduled one of these. Just having far too much trouble doing this on a regular weekly basis. So we'll have the occasional pop up, but no more regularly scheduled. I unfortunately for me, I have trouble regularly scheduling fucking any fucking lives. But yeah, so this is it. It's been a fun ride, and I'm sure we'll do it here and there, but that's it for the regular. So Cryptid, thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, when we started this out, I figured I'll just do a couple of episodes till you get, some other co-host or something going, and I'd help you out. And then it just sort of rolled into just being the regular co-host.
Yeah, that's what happened with me and when I Echo and I, sorry. Between Two Hacks, like Luigi Greenberg was the original, and I was like, he asked me, he was like, yeah, dude, I'll do it till you get somebody good, and then fucking like a year later, I was still there. So, but no, man, I enjoy. We both calm with shit. We're on different sides, and it's it's a different take. Get the everyman take on the stuff instead of the Thanks, Kahuna. Yeah, and unfortunately, it never. I was always shocked that anyone watched it, so I do appreciate it. But we definitely leveled off, and then it never got. And then with the inconsistency with how often we do it, it's never gonna, So we'll just.
And then it's just it's just running into life a little bit.
Yeah, and big time. Like I said, it's certain things just come up, and so I haven't been able. We go weeks without doing it, so it's not like, as we said, we're not gonna not do it. Just here and there, every once in a while we'll do one. But appreciate anyone that ever watched us. Hopefully you'll show up for some of the pop-ups whenever we do them. And hopefully tomorrow I have scheduled the thing on Stuttering John, and hopefully Cryptic can join me so we can do a fun non-political thing tomorrow possibly. But anyway, Cryptid, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me here on YouTube at liquid_cryptid. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with John leaving, or just kind of wait until he comes back. But right now I've been having like all these ideas of stuff that I've been wanting to do with my archive, and I'm just sort of putting that together now that I have time. You can go on Liquid Cryptid on Rumble and see all of John's episodes. You could go on Liquid Cryptid on Odyssey and download all of John's episodes. You could go on Liquid Cryptid on TikTok and watch TikTok videos about John. But it's just I just make the shorts and I just upload them to YouTube Shorts and TikTok.
Nice.
Oh, and Liquid Cryptid on X. DM me there. It's the best way to contact me.
There we go. I'll put the stuff. I don't think I put the stuff in the description last week. I forgot.
Yeah,
How does he do that? But anyway,
people know where to find.
Yeah, they know at this point. All right, guys. I am OG Mumbling Nick. Obviously, you can find me here on YouTube at OG Mumbling Nick and on X as well. I may, even though this is coming to an end with regularity, I may, who knows? I may even do some politically related stuff, solo stuff here and there. But tomorrow at 9 p.m., if anyone's interested, as I said, I will be going over part of my appearance on Stuttering John last week, and Steve Grillo. It'll be more John stuff. I'm not gonna lie than Grillo, but I will talk about how that came about. Because that was kind of funny. I wasn't even trying to get on. I tried to get on John. It took me 2 years, and I got on Grillo first when I wasn't even trying. But anyway, and if Cryptid's around, he's gonna join me, and he was on Grillo the same week I was, so could have a fun conversation. But I'll mostly be tackling what it was like to finally get on John, how I finally got on John, and go over some clips and stuff like that. So should be fun. Hopefully you'll see you guys then, and we'll just go from there. But to anyone that supported us, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And don't know when next time is, but we'll see you next time. Peace, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Hands up now, hands down. Tell me what you N-I-C-K, mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air. Cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix, so that dabble politics mix. Where the fudge you at, punk? Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna duck now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and it's YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get saved up on your time. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabble is blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put you bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up.